This is Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us on the radio waves and take control of those airwaves here toll free. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username here is LRN.FM, so feel free to reach out and get in touch with us and bring up what you want. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
All right, so, of course, you can bring up anything, although we always bring stuff to the table that we think that you might find interesting. I know, Vincent, you're still a little fired up about these high school walkouts, about the gun control, and apparently there's some kind of an event that is scheduled for, here at the very least in Keene. Is it a national event that's happening this Saturday from 10 until noon Eastern time? Do you know?
I'm not sure if it's a national event on that certain day, but it's happening all over the country.
Okay,
in different communities.
That sounds like it's a national event if it's happening all over the place.
All over the nation.
I mean, just like different ones are sprouting up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them share funding from the same group.
And so, I mean, you told me about this earlier this week. You're intending to go there to this particular event and report on it for Shire Free News, which is your, was it gab.ai?
No, just there as an assignment.
Oh, okay.
Just
somebody's
homework.
instructing you to go there. So
No, it's on my own volition. I have to do a certain project to show I know how to use a camera, and I figure.
It's a video assignment.
Absolutely, and I could get tons of B-roll there. I'll be, I'm not going to report on it. I'll be very respectful.
Because you're a multimedia journalist. I mean, you've got a blog, freehanover.com.
Yes, thank you.
You are taking television classes, apparently television news classes in college as well. And actually, you know what? Actually, we're going to hear from Ernest Hancock here shortly. For whatever reason, the Skype connection is not working out, but the Thomas Costanzo case is happening in Arizona, basically today. That, for those that aren't familiar, is the guy who was charged with basically selling Bitcoin on localbitcoins.com. So I was expecting to hear from Ernie. He just called my cell phone, but I'm obviously in the middle of a show segment, so that's not going to work too.
Come on, man. That's the messenger that's so last century. You got to get on Discord, brother.
Well, yeah, it would be nice if we could get Ernie on Discord. I actually meant to talk to him about that in Acapulco. But anyway, we'll get him on. But meanwhile, let's talk a little bit more about the guns, because actually the Thomas Costanzo case does have to do with guns. He was actually arrested for felon in possession of ammunition. So that's why he's sitting in a jail cell awaiting his trial, which, again, started today. But this whole situation out with the school shootings, which apparently another one just happened today. I haven't even seen the headline, but I guess you've been following the case. Vincent.
I haven't been following it. It's the usual. You see a headline, you see a little description.
Just the usual school shooting.
No. I mean, the usual. You just see. I haven't looked into it. I've just heard, right? Because people say all the time,
I heard that an off-duty cop stopped this one. That's what I heard. I don't know.
It was definitely stopped soon. I think there's only 2 injuries, no deaths, except that of a gunman's.
I had heard something in regards to a school resource officer being involved, but
okay, you might be right about that. So anyway, if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
I wonder what that would raise the percentage of school resource officers actually taking any action would to.
Very high.
Yeah. Well, would it?
In this case. Oh, I guess.
Well, in this case,
you
it
mean
would
overall.
Yeah, I just mean overall. Considering the last one, the school resource officers, multiple of them,
they stayed back.
Sat around.
Well, no, weren't they deputies?
Where?
At the Parkland. I thought they were deputies.
There was some actually, there were some school resource officers and some actual police.
Oh, because I remember the deputy was hiding behind the wall. I don't know if you talked about this earlier, but yeah, he was like, he said, yeah, I'm going here, and he just hides behind the wall.
Now, so you're going this Saturday, Vincent, to this event. Do you know what it's called? Is there a website for it? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but you're the one who told me about it, so I figured you might know.
They like to use the term "March for Our Lives."
March for Our Lives,
because we're all in danger. This is such school shootings are such a recurring problem everywhere.
Has it ever happened in New Hampshire?
Has it ever?
I know there was a kid who brought a gun to school and offed himself, but I don't think that there was.
Well, I guess it's not a school shooting. In where I was from, the Xantop murders happened, where these guys, 2 guys, for some reason decided to murder someone, and then
off campus.
Yeah, this was off campus.
2 high schoolers.
Yeah.
Wasn't there drugs involved in that?
Oh, I'm not sure. I know they knocked on a door to kill
robbery?
someone, and it was an off-duty cop, and he had his gun in full view, so they decided to
Wait,
kill
they just
someone else.
randomly went to somebody's house?
It's been so long, I can't say exactly, but I do remember they left
no
because they saw
school
a guy with a gun. Yeah,
No school
none
shootings
that I
in
know
New
of.
Hampshire. There's probably, I don't know. I wonder what is New Hampshire's policy? Just wondering aloud. Do they allow teachers to carry guns in New Hampshire? It wouldn't surprise me if they did, but I know that the college campuses don't really like guns.
I'm pretty sure a lot of schools are gun-free zones.
Yeah, I know of a teacher who at a public school who just has a baseball bat in case someone, and he has a baseball bat for the explicit reason in case a shooter comes.
Interesting.
That's a weird idea. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's the only alternative
he
when
can
you're not
do.
allowed to have a gun or knife there, or a sword. If you want to be hipster about it.
So
Pepper spray seems like it would be even more effective. I mean, pepper spray and a baseball bat.
Even poisonous gas.
Yeah, something.
So a little bit of good news here to start the show out with from the Associated Press. In San Francisco, the smoke was thick and business brisk at the Barbary Coast Dispensary's marijuana smoking lounge, a darkened room that resembles a steakhouse or upscale sports tavern with its red leather seats, deep booths with high dividers, and hardwood floors. There's nothing like this in Jersey, said grinning Atlantic City resident Rick Thompson, getting high with his cousins in San Francisco. In fact, there's nothing like the Barbary Coast Lounge almost anywhere in the United States, a conundrum confronting many marijuana enthusiasts who find it increasingly easy to buy cannabis, but harder to find legal places to smoke it. Because certainly a lot of these legalized states have not necessarily legalized it to smoke outdoors. You can't necessarily be at a public park legally and smoke cannabis, which I think is a shame. And hopefully we're going to see that change over time. But it still sort of has that basis of, ooh, this is a bad thing. We need to make sure the children are protected from seeing somebody raising a joint to their lips. Only California permits marijuana smoking at marijuana retailers with specially designed lounges, but it also allows cities to ban those kinds of shops. Unsurprisingly, San Francisco is the trailblazer. It's the only city in the entire state to fully embrace Amsterdam-like coffee shops, the iconic tourist stops in the Netherlands where people can buy and smoke marijuana in the same place. San Francisco's marijuana czar, Nicole Elliott, said new permits will be issued once city health officials finalize regulations designed to protect workers from secondhand smoke and the neighborhood from unwelcomed odors. Now, why in the world would you go and work at a marijuana bar if you had a problem with secondhand smoke? It would seem to me like you would understand that that's one of the things that comes along with a job in a marijuana bar is that you are likely going to get a contact high. The whole place is going to be a big hot box. Even if they do have an exhaust system, it's still going to be a smoky atmosphere, right?
Well, and he mentions unwanted odors. San Francisco also happens to have a problem with people defecating in the streets.
It's true.
So they're worried about pot, stinking up your place.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, and anybody that's walked through downtown New York City knows that there's a constant smell of garbage wafting through a lot of those New York City streets. I haven't spent a lot of time in San Francisco's.
We can only make the place smell better.
Yeah, exactly. You can at the very least, cover it up with the smell of...
A lot of people use weed as an air freshener, so...
Cannabis. Other California cities, however, are warming to the idea. The city of West Hollywood, for instance, has approved plans to issue up to 8 licenses. The tiny San Francisco Bay Area town of Alameda says it will allow 2, and Oakland and South Lake Tahoe each have 1 lounge. Now, of course, we as liberty-minded people are against, I think, and I don't want to put words in y'all's mouth, but we're against licensing. We don't think that the government should be able to arbitrarily decide, well, we're the town of Alameda, we've got about X population, so we, the city planners, have determined that we shouldn't have more than 2 cannabis providers in the city. Well, let the market decide how many cannabis providers there should be. Anything else is just straight up protectionism for those early adopters, those early cannabis businesses who grease the palms of the politicians in advance. 855-450 free is our toll-free number. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I am raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. The California marijuana dispensaries, some of them are becoming marijuana lounges where you can purchase and smoke the cannabis on the very same premises. And this is apparently something that has yet to happen anywhere in the United States. And San Francisco is the first. We'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. Joining you in our studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Don't forget to check out Bitcoin.com. Maybe you're new to cryptocurrency. Maybe you still haven't gotten any for yourself yet, and you still have some of the basic questions about what it is, why it's important. Why has it been such an incredible success? You can go to Bitcoin.com to learn the basics about cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, which was sort of the granddaddy of all of them over at Bitcoin.com. They've also got the latest news headlines for you anytime you want them over at news.bitcoin.com. Once again, that's news.bitcoin.com. We now finally have Ernie Hancock with us. Sorry for the confusion. We tried to have you on Skype and it just didn't work out. Ernest Hancock is with us from Declare Your Independence. Hello, Ernie. Good evening.
Hello.
Hey, you were at the trial today in federal court of Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus. This is one of your friends who's worked with you at Freedom's Phoenix in the past, and he's was a cryptocurrency activist, was selling Bitcoin on Local Bitcoins, a site where anybody can go and buy and sell Bitcoin by using like their bank account or certain prepaid credit cards and other different methods. But they arrested him for that. They also hit him with a felon in possession of ammunition charge as well, which you said he took a plea on that. So today was the first day of his trial. Can you kind of give us a summary of how things went?
Yeah, no, he didn't plea. They dropped it.
Oh, they dropped it.
What happened was, yeah, no, the only thing that's they threw the book at all kinds of stuff, and the only thing that's left is money laundering, doing cash Bitcoin without permission slip. And what happened, they arrested him on 4/20, almost a year ago.
Right.
And they got him. They thought they had Homeland Security, they had DEA, DATF, FBI, the Mesa Police Department, Maricopa County Sheriff. I mean, everybody wanted to get some on this one.
Yeah.
And they thought there was going to be a big RICO thing, but there were no drugs, no alcohol, no guns, no nothing. But he had like a bowl of various ammunition you just kind of throw in there like quarters, here in Arizona, there were. So they just said, aha, we got ammunition. They tried to use that as pressure on him.
They put him in jail because of that. They otherwise wouldn't have probably arrested him that very same day because they were just investigating the case with Local Bitcoins, right? But they found the ammo and they said, all right.
No. This has always been a Bitcoin thing. They were just trying to use that as leverage. They dropped that. He's still in jail.
I'm amazed that they dropped that. It would seem like that was the thing they had him on dead to rights, like there was ammunition in his home.
What happened was that back in the 80s or something, he was made a felon, but the way the Arizona law reads is that you have to have served more than a year in jail, and he served a year, not more than a year. So the judge goes, pretty clear, that's what it says. Like, sucks, you don't get to do that one, dismissed.
So even though it was illegal federally, the Arizona overrode that somehow?
No, the Arizona, for being a felon, and not get your rights back or being a felon in possession of ammunition, the definition of a felony is you served more than a year in jail.
Oh, so he's not considered to be a felon, is what you're saying?
By this statute, for the ammunition, correct.
Okay.
So they dropped it. Then they dropped all the conspiracy stuff with the Barrow's neurological brain researcher guy, Peter Simons.
Yeah.
The motions and everything, all the everything is dropped. Everything
now he's fighting the remaining charges. You said that he's still facing so-called money laundering.
The remaining charges are exchanging. It's for not doing know your customer and anti-money laundering. And all these laws, as you look at them, we did 2 hours of the show today before we went down there, and all the laws, it says financial institution or bank. So I don't know what their defense is going to do, but it looked to me like they're going to have to show he's a financial institution.
Well, also, and I'm not an attorney, but I've looked at these things too because I've sold a lot of Bitcoin on localbitcoin.com. I know multiple people who have done it. It's something that people do all across the world, all across the United States. It's a private sale. It's a private sale from one individual to another individual, and you're not a currency exchange unless you're using a foreign currency, unless you're exchanging from foreign currency to U.S. currency or U.S. currency to foreign currency. At least that's the way it seems to be when I'm looking at it. You're also not a money transmitter if you're dealing with the same person, because a money transmitter
this is all PR. What they're doing is they're saying this guy said he was a Russian heroin dealer and you still did the trade. He goes, because I knew he wasn't, because Russian heroin dealers don't go around saying they're Russian heroin dealers. I mean, whatever.
No. Okay, so that's what they're doing. That's because that was the one thing that the feds hadn't released previously, at least that we'd heard of. Was what were they alleging? Was there an undercover agent who posed as someone doing something illegal?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're saying there was.
Yeah. So this is, and so that all comes down to whether he give a crap, believed them, whatever. This is what I want to get to before the end of the segment because I got to go.
Please.
Donna's birthday, yay!
All right, thanks for taking time out. Go ahead.
What happened was, this is during jury selection. They had about almost 70 people, 68 or so, 70 people. They went through. It's all day. They're still doing jury selection. I had to leave, and so by the end, they just dismissed like 24 of them. Then they had the remaining, and there was, when he said, how many people know about Bitcoin? It was about, IT and Bitcoin and encrypted messages and so on. It was probably 20% of the people. And they're like, damn. So they whittled down to that. And one young guy that was a Bitcoin, had Bitcoin, knew about Bitcoin, him and all his friends talk about Bitcoin as a potential juror. And they go, and the questions that they were asking was this: would you be able to set aside all your opinion when you have federal agents telling you what Bitcoin is and everything? Would you be able to set your opinion aside for theirs? He goes, no. So he's, of course not. If I know it to be, whatever the truth is,
right.
They couldn't get past that. They didn't like that one bit.
Right.
Then the other thing was,
so no knowledgeable Bitcoin people allowed on the jury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was obvious what they were doing. The other thing, there was an attorney there. When the judge goes, you decide the facts, I tell you how to apply the law. And he kept doing that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, he's not. Well, when he came to the attorney, he goes, should you be selected, you know that you're not to go into the jury and elaborate on this point or something like that. He was definitely telling them, you're not allowed to tell them they have the power to nullify the law. And I'm going, holy crap. I sit there and I did a face slap, a double palm face slap, and a federal marshal came over. You're not allowed to express any opinion about blah, blah, blah. I mean, they were going to kick me out because I just went, because they knew that I knew what was going on. Now, most people, if not 99% of the people in there, had no idea what that conversation was about.
Yeah.
And he was telling the lawyer, if you're on the jury, you know you're not to tell them about jury nullification.
Ernie, I know you got to go. Today was day one. Was it pretty much just jury selection, or did they actually start opening statements today?
They may have done an opening statement. I don't know. I wasn't there. I doubt it because they were running late, and I bet you they start tomorrow.
Ernie, thanks for the call. Appreciate you taking time out here tonight. More about the Thomas Costanzo case as it develops here. This is Free Talk Live, and your call's coming up.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government, the real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you here in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
Yeah, and Vincent, man.
Talking about cryptocurrency here, and then we can get back into the marijuana clubs and other related or unrelated discussions. You've got a story about a Nazi pug.
Yeah, the Nazi pug.
Coming up here in moments, Vincent. So the toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I also want to let you know about Zencash. You know, we've been talking about Bitcoin here tonight. The Thomas Costanzo Morpheus trial is going on in Arizona with jury selection happening today. We just heard Ernest Hancock talking about that. In that case, that's about selling Bitcoin. Bitcoin does not have, as great as it is, it doesn't have any anonymity. I mean, it can be used in a sort of pseudonymous fashion if you're careful about it, but if you want anonymity, you've got to go with cryptocurrencies that have it built in from day one. And Zencash is one of those options. You have multiple options. Zencash is one of them that was actually started by liberty-minded people who care about freedom. They care about the economy and economics, and they know economics from our perspective. In fact, if you go to Zencash.com, you can look at the white paper there, and you'll find voluntarism written right into the white paper of Zencash. It is technically sound and excellent cryptocurrency. You can go and learn more about it over at Zencash.com. They've got over 7,500 secure nodes, which makes it one of the most distributed node systems of any of the cryptocurrencies on the planet. It's Zencash.com to go and do your due diligence there. So we were just on the line with Ernest Hancock from Declare Your Independence. He took some time out on his wife's birthday to call in here tonight because he and several others, I guess, went out to the federal court in Phoenix to watch the beginnings of the trial of Thomas Costanzo, a.k.a. Morpheus, who was arrested last year, as Ernie put it, on 4/20 in a multi-jurisdictional task force raid of his house or apartment, where they charged him with a variety of different things, now having since whittled down those charges because he didn't take a plea. And I think that's one of the more interesting aspects of this case. If you look at the history of the cryptocurrency charges that have been brought by the federal government, mostly against local Bitcoin operators, and there have been several cases over the last few years. If you look at those cases, what you'll find is most people take the plea deal. Thomas Costanzo, from what I understand, is the only one so far who has not. So everybody else, they hit you with money laundering, conspiracy to commit money laundering, all unlicensed money transmission. There's all these sort of financial so-called crimes that they come after this person with. And my argument, and I presume the argument of Morpheus's attorney, is going to be, none of these statutes apply. So if you actually go and you look at the money transmitting statutes, you're not a money transmitter unless you take money from one person. So if Johnson, if you hire me, let's say we're not all in the same room, you're halfway across the country, you hire me to give Vincent 100 of your dollars, and you pay me on top of that $5 to do that for you. That would make me, if I did it as a business more often than once or something like that. There's some number of times that you can do it with it where you're not considered to be a financial services business. But if that was something that I was doing as a business, I would be considered under their code a money transmitter. But if, Johnson, you were to want to buy some Bitcoin from me and I were to be willing to sell it to you, and you give me some cash and I give you some Bitcoin, there wasn't a third party involved in that transaction. I wasn't moving money around on your behest. I was just simply selling you a thing that I have. I was giving you a digital good that I had possession of in return for cash.
Because they've ruled, of course, that it's property.
Well, there has been a court recently that did rule that that Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are commodity.
So if I wanted to buy your old DVDs on Craigslist, I'd be a money transmitter, according to the way that they're talking about this with Bitcoin.
Well, if you were to follow their argument, I mean, they don't. That's why I say I don't think they have
stupid
an
argument.
Yeah, I don't think they have an argument that it's a money transmission by their own definition. They might also try to argue that, you're violating the money services businesses rules because you're exchanging currencies.
It would be great if they won a case like that and you could say, oh, cool, well, then I don't owe taxes on this because it's not a capital gains, because it wasn't property, it's money. Thanks.
Well, of course, FinCEN believes that it's money. The federal court that you're referring to, a district court, recently did rule that it was property. But again, that would have to be appealed up to the Supreme Court for it to mean something nationwide. But the other argument is that you're doing...
Which also means that any case where they rule that it's not property can be appealed up to the Supreme Court nationwide.
Presumably, yeah.
So if you're in a Bitcoin case and you're hearing this and they rule anything other than it being property, take it to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's going to be... I hope that... And that's why I'm glad we have people that are at this courthouse watching this trial, because the mainstream media is probably not following the... I mean, I hope they are, but I haven't heard if anybody in the mainstream is following the Thomas Costanzo case.
There are probably people that will give money to make sure any case like that goes all the way to the Supreme Court. And it's funded all the way there.
Yeah.
There are probably plenty of Bitcoin investors that will throw money at your case. So if you have the inkling and the time to, get it to go to the Supreme Court, if you are in a case that, doesn't, go the way that it should, you probably can continue fighting that.
You can get some money for an appeal.
Some fundraisers
and then it's bound to be covered by the mainstream media.
Yeah, I forget what the current status of the Ross Ulbricht case is, but certainly he's had a lot of support, and it may not be enough support because it is not cheap to go up to these high levels of courts. But I tend to agree with you, Johnson. There's a lot of interests out there in the world of cryptocurrency that want to see people like Thomas Costanzo be successful. But if it's true what Ernie said, and that the undercover officer in this case actually said, "Yeah, I'm a Russian heroin dealer, and I need to get some Bitcoin from you to buy some dope," then that's not going to be good. Because if that's what happened, then it's going to be very hard to defend this case. If you're selling Bitcoin and somebody comes to you, even if it's just person to person,
right? And
somebody comes to you and says, "I want to do X illegal thing with this Bitcoin. Can you please sell it to me?"
Okay, sure, why not?
I know you might need the money. but you would probably rather not have several years in federal prison. So just turn that sale down. Just tell that person, I'm sorry, but I can't help you with this. You know, hey, I think drugs should be legal, but I can't help you with this. So again, I don't know. That's the allegation. I haven't seen the evidence. It hasn't been presented in court yet. I hope that's not what happened in this case. Another guy who's been following this trial, and I don't know if it's the reason you're calling tonight, Dave, but we're talking about, as you may know, the Thomas Costanzo case here. Have you been? Did you follow what happened today?
No, I didn't know about it.
Because I know you created a Facebook group specifically to keep an eye on this particular trial. The case apparently began today. And we actually had Ernest Hancock on just a few moments ago to kind of give us a rundown. It was basically jury selection day. He wasn't sure if they got to opening statements by the end of the day because I guess he had to step out a little bit early. But yeah, it's just the very beginning of the trial, and we were just discussing, why, in my opinion, which it's just a legal opinion, and I'm not an attorney, that this, the Fed shouldn't have a case if he didn't agree to sell to a heroin dealer, which is the information that Ernie revealed today. Had you heard that one yet?
No, I hadn't heard that either. What I can tell you that's a little bit weird in this case is that one of the people who went to visit him at the prison that they're holding him, the weird, private-ish sounding prison in Arizona, guy went to visit him and says he was forbidden from having a writing instrument with him. He couldn't even take notes.
The visitor could not take notes? Or
yes.
Thomas could not take notes?
No, the visitor. And he was also forbidden from wearing shorts in Arizona in the summer.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, they don't want you to come and see people. They want to try to make the rules as obtuse and confusing as possible to make it so they can tell you no. And so they make you have to jump through ridiculous hoops. Well, if that wasn't the reason you were calling, Dave, stand by. We'll bring you back here. Dave Ridley with us from RidleyReport.com. Of course, you're welcome to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I sure hope that he didn't agree to sell to somebody claiming to be a heroin dealer, because if you ever are in a situation like that, that is like sure sign you're dealing with a cop, or at the very least dealing with somebody who's not so bright. So either way, probably shouldn't say yes to that. More coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish, they'll hold your cards and cash, but they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics, and it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President. Something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You, of course, can bring up anything that you want by dialing toll-free. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have a web forum, and you can go there to get interactive with other hosts of the show. Vincent, I believe you are a semi-active user of said web forum over at forum.freetalklive.com. I'm there pretty much every single day. Not sure how often you're in there, Johnson, at the forum.
Sometimes.
But it's there. And it's also more than just Free Talk Live discussion. It's also the Shire forum. So there's cryptocurrency areas. There's areas about what's going on in New Hampshire with activism. So like there's a Forkfest sub-forum over there. So head on over there. We'll talk about Forkfest here in a little bit. But head on over to forum.freetalklive.com and you can get interactive with other Free Talk Live listeners there. That's forum.freetalklive.com. Dave Ridley is with us from RidleyReport.com on Skype. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, are you keeping track at all, or are you familiar with this case where Dennis Acton, I guess, was running for selectman in Fremont?
I'm not familiar. I mean, I certainly my listeners aren't familiar, and I can't say I really know who Dennis Acton is.
So he's a New Hampshire liberty activist. I don't know if he's a Free Stater, if he was here for a long time. He was running for selectman, and I guess it sounds like he just barely lost. He's a pro-liberty guy, or at least calls himself one.
Okay.
And I remember seeing his posts over the years in liberty groups in New Hampshire. He's not a recent mover, so he's been here a while at least. And he says that I guess he says, quote, "It was a cyber attack by someone on the town community page using a fake Facebook account," unquote. He says that's what cost him the election, and he's
a Facebook post,
a cyber attack.
I mean, there may be more to it. I have a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult to understand what he was saying in the post. How close
was the election? If you already said that, I apologize. I missed that.
No, he didn't say specifically. He just says he nearly was elected.
Okay.
So it's, better to have a close loss than not run at all.
Yeah. You know what? There was actually a win out this way, and there's a weird situation where the person who won, I'm not saying who it was simply out of respect for that person, but the person who won a selectman seat out in western New Hampshire, an ostensible libertarian who won that seat and won it with the first place vote, does not want that to be discussed. And the thing I haven't clarified with this person is, do you just don't want me? Do you just not want Ian Freeman to talk about it? Or are you trying to say that everybody in the liberty movement shouldn't talk about your win? Because it seems to me like you would want people to know that the libertarians are winning in New Hampshire. Like, I want to communicate things like that to my audience, and now I have this person specifically requesting me to not do that. So it's a very awkward situation. Like, as a newsman, I want to do that. As somebody who wants to get the word out, I want to do that. But I know this person personally, and so this person's requesting I not do that. How would you handle that one, Dave? You'd probably put it out there, right?
Well, it depends. Like, if someone tells you something, it could be perceived as being in confidence just to you. Then I would just prefer people not tell me stuff like that in the first place. And I'm always begging.
I found out that the person won from someone else.
It's public information.
It's public information that person won an office.
Yeah. Like this, in this case, he posted on the Porcupines group, and that's I don't know if that's a public or open group. I can't share anything.
It's not a secret group.
All right. Well, if I put something there, if I see something there, I can never seem to share it. You know what? I don't care.
It's a closed
if he
group.
posted it. Yeah, if you posted it on a group, I don't care what the group is. Once you've published something, then you want it published, and I'm going to talk about it if I feel like it.
That's a good way to look at it.
I tend to agree with you there, and I have asked this person to explain the person's position. I'm trying to avoid using pronouns or whatever, but to explain their position about this, because I would just want to understand it. I want to know if it's you want to keep it secret. Because my understanding is this person was already outed as a Free Stater, so what's the problem? I mean, if it's true that the person was outed as a Free Stater, then what's the problem with announcing, hey, a libertarian won in such and such a town? Because that's good news. So I've asked for clarification on, were you outed publicly about this? And then further, are you specifically saying it's a problem with me? Because this is one of the people who unfriended me a couple of years ago during the whole big Ian Freeman Free State Project debacle. But I don't blame people personally for that, because I understand that they feel, certain social pressures from people. And while I consider that to be cowardice, I don't blame them for it. So.
Well, it seems like there is this decreasing level of openness within the Free Stater movement. Back in the day when we were picking a state, we had it out on the forums, and we made good enemies out of each other, and we made good friends, and it was gang warfare on the forums, but it was all out there, and you could just see what you saw what the person did. Like with you, people are saying you said this or that. I'm not even sure what they're saying you said.
They don't even know half the time. They haven't even listened to whatever it is.
I have never seen a quote. I have never seen a copy of a broadcast that has been published, because there's no this kind of discussion should happen on the forums, but we don't have those anymore because Facebook came along. So it's just we need more openness to come back.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation, and that's coming from somebody, for those of you that don't know Dave, he's been here longer than I have. I moved here in 2006. You moved in what, 03? 04? 04 was it?
Yeah, to Keene.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dave has been here longer than pretty much anybody as far as the New Hampshire freedom migration is considered, and he's been observing this. So what is it to basically you're saying here, Dave, that the move to Facebook has actually reduced the amount of communications that are of value between activists in the community?
Yeah, because it's hard to go back and find the thread, right? Like with
their Facebook search sucks. Absolutely.
Yeah, today, if I want to today, I can go back and find the thread where we try to decide which state to move. It's still sitting there, and you can look at all the posts. And,
you're talking about on the Free State Project's forum.
Yes, it's history. Yep. But Facebook sort of kills history by putting all the internet traffic in a place where you can't find it
Totally.
later.
And there's no global search, right? So you can't, if you're in 5 different groups or more than that on Facebook, and you're like, oh, I had that conversation with Vincent the other day on that one group. Which group was it? And then you can go and try searching each group for keywords that you think might have been in that conversation. But I've had times when I was searching for a word I knew was in the conversation, in a group I knew the conversation was, and it won't come up. But then if I scroll down long enough, I can find the thread. So it's even if you're in the right place, searching for the right thing, Facebook search does not find the things that you should be able to find with it. I mean, it is like the memory hole. Dave Ridley, any other thoughts you want to share tonight?
Well, it seems like this is the trend. It wasn't just with this issue. It was like if you look at where Garrett Ian, it was considered such a big deal that he recorded Edward Snowden.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, okay, fine. They do have the right to stop you from filming there, but this should all be discussed out in the open. It should be made clear, preferably in advance. If there was a debate to be had about what that guy did, then it should be there for us to look at the entire thread and hear everyone out in one place. Preferably.
Yeah, they thought they could try to pressure me into putting some sort of stop to it because I run freekeen.com, which is where he posted the Edward Snowden video, and I'm like, yeah, he's one of the bloggers. He gets to post whatever he wants to, so if you don't like it, take it up with him. It's not my problem, and I'm not going to be your enforcer, so they certainly didn't like that.
I feel like I'm not hearing from the Free State leadership. I want to know what their point of view is, and I never hear it. I never see them in the press. They don't post, anything that I ever see that explains their viewpoint. This is the official Free State Project reason for doing such and such. And here's what I never see that. I've never heard.
Well, the Free State Project doesn't.
Why do you care about a higher? You claim to be you're a libertarian, but you're saying you care about a hierarchy. You're caring about irrelevant titles. I mean,
Actually, I do. Because if you think about it, in a free society, you can pick a leader for certain projects and so forth and back them up. And I do feel very comfortable doing that with certain leaders. I've generally felt fairly comfortable with the Free State Project. And again, the fact that this is my grievance, it's not a very big grievance. I wish they'd say more, be more talkative, I guess.
When you say more and be more talkative, on what issues do you want them to comment?
Well, the hot button issues related to the Free State Projects would be, why did they kick you out? Why didn't they let you go to PorcFest? Why did they ban the entire radio show?
They made a public statement about that. I mean, there was a public press release that the executive director at the time put out. I mean, basically, I was banned because some people didn't like my libertarian opinions about age of consent. I mean, they pretty much put that straight out there. Anyway, regardless, the Free State Project's pretty much over. I mean, they reached their goal. The organization still exists. They still put on 2 events every year, but they're
still
nowhere
making
near
money
as relevant because people are moving regardless of the Free State Project. There's a wider migration, the New Hampshire Freedom Migration. Hey, thanks, Dave, for the call tonight. More coming up. Hour 2 on the way.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,311 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,551. Antiwar.com reports U.S. military involvement in the Saudi invasion of Yemen was never authorized by Congress. 3 years into the conflict, this might actually matter, with the Senate set to vote on SJ Res 54, a War Powers Act challenge, which would require the U.S. to end involvement in the war. The resolution is enjoying growing support across the Senate, with high-ranking officials like Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia coming out in favor. Sources say a vote on the resolution is scheduled for Tuesday. During the war, U.S. involvement has mostly centered around supporting Saudi bombing of Yemen, including targeting assistance and mid-air refueling of warplanes. U.S. warships have also participated in the Saudi naval blockade, which has resulted in mass starvation in parts of the country. Getting a vote is no small feat, despite the War Powers Act obliging floor votes on such challenges. An effort in the House last year was foiled, replaced with a non-binding alternative. This will be the first ever War Powers Act challenge in the Senate. The Trump administration has been scrambling to shore up support, arguing that the war isn't authorized, but not being at a war would be bad for U.S.-Saudi relations. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in the U.S. to do some last-minute lobbying as well, meeting individually with senators. Though Salman and the administration appear to believe this will sway the vote in their favor, it may actually do the opposite. That's because Saudi war crimes in Yemen are increasingly concerning in Congress, and the prince's defense of the war is not very convincing.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday not to block Pennsylvania's new congressional district voting maps, which Republicans challenged as unconstitutional. The state Supreme Court redrew the map in February after it determined the previous map plainly and palpably violated the state constitution. Republican leaders said the court did not give state lawmakers enough time to redraw the map after the February ruling. Monday's ruling followed another unsuccessful challenge in a federal district court earlier in the day, in which a three-judge panel said the GOP leaders who brought the case did not have standing to represent the whole General Assembly. The Pennsylvania Democrats who challenged the 2011 voting map accused Republicans of gerrymandering, diluting the votes of Democrats and racial minorities. The League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania told USA Today it was deja vu all over again, with arguments that have not improved with age. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision came a day before a filing deadline for the May primaries. The new map will also be used in the general election, in which Pennsylvania is considered a battleground state. Pennsylvania is not the only state facing a battle over its congressional map. The U.S. Supreme Court delayed its ruling on a similar North Carolina case to give it time to consider other cases in Wisconsin and Maryland.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports police said on Monday an Uber self-driving car hit and killed a woman crossing the street in Arizona, marking the first fatality involving an autonomous vehicle and a potential blow to the technology expected to transform transportation. The ride-sharing company said it was suspending North American testing of its self-driving vehicles, which are currently going on in Arizona, Pittsburgh, and Toronto. Police said Elaine Herzberg was walking her bicycle outside of the crosswalk on a 4-lane road in the Phoenix suburb of Tempe about 10 p.m. Sunday evening when she was struck by the Uber vehicle traveling at about 40 miles per hour. The car was in autonomous mode with an operator behind the wheel. Tempe Police Sergeant Ronald Elcock told reporters at a news conference the pedestrian was outside of the crosswalk. As soon as she walked into the lane of traffic, she was struck. Elcock said he did not know how close Herzberg was to the vehicle when she stepped into the lane. Herzberg later died from her injuries in a hospital. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
California is reeling from Super Rainbow Percival, which left a trail of devastation along the West Coast. A luminous band of destruction touched down in Santa Barbara. Percival set a record as the most powerful rainbow in U.S. history, with at least 30 confirmed fatalities and damage estimates in the billions. The vividly saturated colors seared through homes and roads, charring everything in its path. Those exposed to the rainbow's fury say they're lucky to be alive.
The sky was completely blue. All of a sudden, it's filled with brilliant hues of red and indigo.
All I can say is when I was a kid, rainbows didn't cut people in half.
Meteorologists say that Percival is just the latest in a pattern of increasingly dangerous rainbows, and that they're only growing stronger as global temperatures rise. Percival also comes on the heels of some extreme weather phenomena overseas. Authorities in the Philippines are still searching for thousands in the aftermath of mega sunset Wilma.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us here on the radio. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can also join us online over at freetalklive.com. You can get on the show by calling us online in two ways. There's Skype at Skype username LRN.FM, or you can join the Discord on-air call-in line room on our Discord chat, where you can actually interact with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts before, during, and after the show. All of it's free. Go to discord.lrn.fm. And again, the on-air call-in line room is the first room on the left-hand side. You'll see the list of rooms once you get in there. Just jump on in there, make sure your mic's working, and we will be able to put you on the radio. Discord.lrn.fm. Apparently, the Discorders tonight, Vincent, one of them says they're going to start a Vincent fan club.
Oh.
So you've already got a fan club apparently in the works, or at least with at least one member. So
that's good. You know, one is a start. My ego, man. My ego.
We're going to your phone calls, your thoughts here. Ralph is on the line in Maine. He's calling from Old Town. Ralph, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi.
Hey there.
I just heard about your show a while back. We have over in Maine, WERU Radio, they have a soapbox 1 hour every month where they take call-ins. Hard to believe, 1 hour a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and anyway, so I wanted to call because there's something really bothers me, and it's concerning a company in New Jersey called Genie Oil. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. No, thankfully I don't live in New Jersey, and I never have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of refineries in New Jersey.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's oil related. Okay.
Yep.
So here's what happened back in 2013 when the Syrian thing erupted. Netanyahu gave Genie Oil an exclusive right to drill for oil in the Golan Heights. Now, Golan Heights is part of Syria, right? It's occupied and run by Israel, but it's occupied territory.
Okay.
So anyway, they struck oil. They struck such a big reserve that some people, some of the experts are saying that it dwarfs the Saudis, what the Saudis have. Okay, so like.
And when was it that they struck the oil? When did this happen?
In 2013.
Okay,
so it's been going on since then.
All right.
And the strategic, they call them the strategic directors of the board of directors of Genie Oil. Listen to this. This is amazing. We have Dick Cheney. Okay. We have Mary Landrieu, who was a United States senator from Louisiana.
You're saying
back in
these
the
are the
90s.
boards? These people are on the board of directors of this oil company?
Strategic board of Genie Oil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Strategic board of directors of Genie Oil, not just board of directors. Strategic. Okay. Strategy. Yeah, that's kind of significant here in this story.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary Landrieu, anyway, she was on the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, and as the chairman, she sponsored and passed the U.S.-Israeli Energy Cooperation Bill. So she's on this board. Rupert Murdoch. Oh, my God. Well, what does he own? Fox News and all that that's involved, Dow Jones and Company, Wall Street Journal, New York Post.
So a lot of big names on the board. All right, so now what?
Well,
Bill Richardson, Jacob
Bill
Rothschild.
Richardson.
Wow.
Well, these are all war
Jacob
hawks.
Rothschild. Oh my God, the banker that does all this. Larry Summers, and then you have James Woolsey, the former head of the CIA, the big neocon. Okay, well, the significant thing is here that Rupert Murdoch has his fellow board member James Woolsey on his television stations, Fox News stations, saying that we ought to blow up Syria, displace the elected president there, but never acknowledges that they have a financial interest in this.
Conflict of interest.
You know, one other significant thing.
I don't know if they have an obligation to acknowledge that. I mean, your point's interesting, and it's not a surprise at all that these politically connected people are using the violence of the state to enrich themselves at the hands of a bloodbath, essentially, so they can make more money.
They're engineering the violence.
There's a great libertarian joke that's gone around for a long period of time that politicians should look like NASCAR drivers by wearing the logos of the companies that they're sponsoring
donors.
them, their donors, and wear those logos like NASCAR drivers with the patches on their jackets and the stickers on their cars.
It's a nice fantasy, but they'll never pass a law that would make them do that. They don't enforce their rules on themselves, even if they do have rules.
Wonderfully, though, maybe in the future somebody can write that into an augmented reality app.
Oh, so it'll superimpose
facial recognition. It'll
them.
superimpose it upon the politicians.
That could happen. Ralph, definitely appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Anything else you want to share about it?
Can I mention one other thing that's significant in my mind about this? Do you know how Israel got the Golan Heights?
Through violence?
You know about Operation Cyanide. Operation Cyanide was where Israel attacks a U.S. ship, which actually happened, the USS Liberty, and murders and wounds over 200 of U.S. citizens and tries to blame it on Egypt and start World War III. Do you know how close we came? The planes with the nuclear bombs were already in the air, and 3 minutes before they were to arrive in Cairo to drop the nuclear bombs, they were called back because after the ship was napalmed, missiled, torpedoed, machine gunned. The Israelis even machine gunned the lifeboats, for Christ's sakes. And do you know that's the most decorated ship? Everybody got decorations, of course, anybody that survived and all the dead. But they hushed it up. And you know who covered it up? Admiral McCain. Admiral McCain,
John McCain?
Yeah, his son was a prisoner of war, spilling the beans, doing like Tokyo Rose, broadcasting over the North Vietnamese radio to the soldiers and giving them our direct flights. He cost American lives, and in order to save his son, he covered up the USS Liberty massacre, where Israel attacked America and stole the Golan Heights. And you know what else they did? They had so many prisoners in Egypt in the Sinai that they tied them up, had them dig their own graves, and then killed them, just point blank.
Well, Ralph,
there you go. That's why they.
Thanks for that, Downer. I
Great,
appreciate it.
Great passion, man.
No, I do appreciate
exposing our greatest ally.
Yeah, I definitely do appreciate the information and the history there, Ralph, and thank you for the call tonight.
Well, what I found interesting about Ralph's call is actually we get a lot of calls like that, I feel like, from people who are just conspiracy nuts. And Ralph's information is...
It was spot on. You were checking
Spot on.
You were checking him.
Yeah, spot on. And that is rare to find somebody who's got, like some information where it's like, here's this theory of something that's going on. I mean, it's not hard to find malfeasance in government, obviously.
Yeah, I played
at this level of where there's clearly kind of this cabal of ridiculously high names, really well-known people. There's no secrets here. This is right out in the open.
Yep.
Super interesting.
It's a conspiracy, but it ain't no theory.
Right.
Exactly. Conspiracy fact, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Well, conspiracy, all it is just two or more individuals doing something in secret.
Usually for nefarious purposes.
Yeah, usually for nefarious. Yeah, you could have a conspiracy to set up a birthday party.
Well,
it's not often that we hear about conspiracies that are so obviously not theories. Like this, there's no theory
clear,
here.
crystal
This is
clear.
like, here's the evidence, and the evidence is irrefutably obvious.
Well, right, and to some extent, there is a rabbit hole here, though, right? Where you can just keep going and, learn about all the other connections these people have. And that's why there's, those charts that show all the media organizations and how many of them you can trace back to 6 different owners and all the connections those people have to the government and the Bilderberg Group and, the Illuminati. And, then you start going down into, a very deep rabbit hole that, guess what? The rich and the powerful do hang around together. They do go golfing together, and they do plot to control people and property together because they have the control. They have the men with the guns, and they're not afraid to use them. And they know that whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans who are in control of that machinery of violence at one time, it's ultimately going to benefit either side because more power is going to be aggregated to it no matter who's in charge at the moment. More coming up here. If you want to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, so feel free to Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. You can also join us on the Discord on-air call-in line chat room over at discord.lrn.fm. T-shirts, $6 online, cool designs. In fact, probably more than you even have time to look through. It's a gigantic selection over at $6shirts.com. They've got a great selection of witty and clever shirts, also lots of cool pop culture, movie reference shirts as well. It'll make you a very exciting person in your social group. Maybe. That's not a guarantee. For as low as $6, the shirts are sold by somebody that's like you, a listener of Free Talk Live, who is also now a sponsor of the show. Again, it's the second time that we've had $6 shirts on board with us here. And it's great to be able to have cool shirts to offer, and it's a freedom-friendly business. So go to $6shirts.com and use code FTL. You'll get 10% off the already incredibly low prices over at $6shirts.com. Again, that's code FTL, like Free Talk Live. Let's go to the phones here. Ian Johnson and Vincent in the studio tonight. Socrates is on the line calling us from New Hampshire on Skype. Go ahead, Socrates.
Your last caller, you guys had a great comment about if you want to be able to discern legitimate information from kind of garbage, you got to be able to do your own research. And one of the greatest venues that we've had for the past decade to do that was to go on YouTube. Unfortunately, there's been an ongoing purge in the last year or so that's really been taking us to high gear. One of the best people that would be able to discern the background of Israel and the government politics around the Zionist regime would be Ry Dawson, one of the earliest Ron Paul supporters. He lost over 1,800 videos.
Whoa!
And it happened under 3 minutes. He lost access to his Google account, and he has no. And the problem is YouTube doesn't give the creators any recourse to get their content back. Another one that.
So what was the claim? Did he even know what the claim was against his videos?
Yeah, you're gonna believe this. For every single channel that's been suspended for their political content is all for the same reason. The citation is always based on harassment. Now, you'll see a great Tim Pool video where he corrects the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they gave him a channel strike where they said he was harassing the organization.
Wow!
So they will flag you for the most absurd reasons.
However, is insane. I mean, to say that posting a video is harassment with what? Opinions about politicians? Statements about politicians?
Blackstone Intelligence, this guy Jake Morphonios, he's actually a financial investigator. He did a background on what a false flag attack is. Mm-hmm. That the video that actually explained what a false flag attack is, and he gave examples of the Vietnam War in the video, was also taken down and used as a citation for harassment when they deleted his channel.
So this is going much further than what was announced recently. I think we covered it on the air here on Free Talk Live, where YouTube has said publicly, the AP was, I think, reporting on this, that YouTube is going to be targeting conspiracy videos, but they're not going to take them down. They're going to put language in the links or whatever about here's a link to Wikipedia to try to rebut the video, which seems pretty ridiculous that they're on this wild goose chase to try to track down all the conspiracy videos. But
also, they didn't even ask Wikipedia whether or not that would be okay for them to do this.
Well, I mean, it's just linking to a website. You normally don't have to ask permission.
It's a pretty huge amount of traffic.
I see what you're saying.
And Wikipedia could just say, we're going to block all traffic coming from YouTube.
They could. But it sounds like what you're saying is they're actually stopping channels entirely, some of them?
And that's what's so frightening about this.
Yeah.
They're deleting years, decades, hundreds of thousands of hours worth of content, and people aren't even talking about it. It's been going on since the very word demonetization was used as a distraction from the fact that they already began deleting the most at that time what you would consider to be the outrageous conspiracy theories, because no one would really care if people that were saying no planes were getting banned, people would hardly notice. I don't support it. Right, but as soon as it's like they started ramping it up, and they're after the Vegas shooting, you'll remember that YouTube announced an apology and a change to their algorithm where they're only going to have what they called legitimate news sources to be at all the top search results. I ask you, go to YouTube and click on News and Politics as a section. You will see there will not be one YouTube channel on that page. There will be CNN, and I mean the first 100 results. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, 100 results.
Disgusting.
And it's not just for events, too. I typed in Alex Jones to find his channel, and then first thing was the hit piece from Megyn Kelly's, and then tons of videos from all these, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and I had to scroll through down like 3 pages until I found his actual channel.
I wonder if hopping on this dying sort of market is going to bring them more money in the long run. When they eventually
when you say hopping on a dying market, you mean promoting CNN and Fox?
They're promoting these dying brands that they helped. I mean, YouTube originally helped kill these dying brands, but the question is have they hopped on promoting these awful brands in time to save them and make a whole bunch of money from them, or are they going to go down with the ship that they helped sink?
They're tying themselves to the anchor of these dying brands.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to go down with the ship that we helped
to sink.
That's great.
But you guys have to give credit to. You guys have to get credit to the fact that Google, Twitter, and Facebook in the past 6 years have consolidated the decentralization of forums onto the internet into three places. You could post videos on YouTube, you could post things on Facebook, and for some reason, people migrated onto this Twitter platform for almost all conversation. Like the forums that were once gigantic and active, and places that were known for free speech. I can give you one that I'll put out there, Totsi, which had 500,000 members that was devoted to free speech. These things have just disappeared. And now that all these platforms have basically centralized the source of information, they can now have the control of disseminating who is able to access this information. And now, what a surprise! They're bringing back the platforms that we formerly thought were killed by YouTube. CNN, MSNBC, the mainstream outlets are now being promoted by the very platform that we thought was going to replace it.
What a shame. Well, the great point. I mean, really, what else can you add to that? Great call. Thank you, Socrates. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Very disturbing, and I think he's right on. I mean, I remember when before YouTube there was Google Video. Remember that?
Right.
You could upload to Google Video, and then they bought YouTube, and they rolled Google Video into YouTube.
I had one video on Google Video that I eventually did move to YouTube, but it was one of I think it was the 2004 Libertarian presidential debate with
Michael Badnarik.
Yeah, Michael Badnarik, and Harry Brown was like mediating it or something.
Okay.
It was that was really interesting back when it was some big group funded and filmed this whole thing and then did this whole mediated debate. It was really interesting.
Back when it was like open season and you could upload pretty much whatever it is you wanted to, and that's changed a lot now, as Socrates, I think, brilliantly pointed out. But remember, you do have other options in the marketplace. While YouTube is the dominant video provider, they aren't the only player out there, and there are some other alternatives. Let's talk about those coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts as well. Free Talk Live.
fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Free Talk Live.
You're privileged to drive the road. You must follow the laws.
No, I don't have to.
You're going to double park and you're going to make a left-hand turn in front of a cop?
Can I respond to you here, Barbara?
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to run a red light in front of a cop because he has a gun and is willing to hurt me, but I've run plenty of...
Wrong. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to give you a ticket.
Oh, but if I decide not to pull over, what will he do?
Well, you're not obeying the law.
Barbara, I don't obey arbitrary words written down by strangers. I obey natural law, Barbara. That means if I do something, I expect consequences will come from that, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You run a red light, somebody comes around and you kill him.
I would never run a red light like that. When I run a red light, I stop first, look around, make sure no one is in danger, and then I go through.
Oh, you are such a phony.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here by dialing toll-free. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. Here tonight in the studio with you, you've got Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Also, don't forget to check out Liberty.menu. We were talking earlier about libertarian businesses. How do you find them? You go to Liberty.menu. Now, it's a relatively new site, started last summer, and so it hasn't even gone through its full first year. But we wanted to team up with them here at Free Talk Live to introduce you to Liberty.menu and tell you about it because it is a great resource. And people have been asking for this resource for a long time. They've come to us and said, hey, do you guys know of any great, libertarian business directories? How can I find out if a business I want to do business with is freedom friendly? Well, you can do that now by going to liberty.menu. But if you've got a business and you want libertarians to know about it, you need to add it to liberty.menu. It's free to do this. So whether it is a physical mom and pop business location in a place, whether it's a digital media creator that you're a creator, for instance, whether you've got an event that you want to promote, you can put listings for all of those things up over at liberty.menu, and it's free to do it. So really, there's no reason not to do this, to get yourself listed up there at liberty.menu. And it is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. You can rate, you can review. There's also a bit of a social media aspect to it. So head on over there and check it out. It's liberty.menu. You can use code FTL when you're getting your account together over there, and you get a special badge as a Free Talk Live listener at liberty.menu. We were talking about with Socrates there, who'd called in about some disturbing news about YouTube just wholesale taking down entire YouTube channels for so-called harassment, where the creator of the channel might have opinions that somebody doesn't like about, say, some influential politicians. And I'm grateful that this has never happened to the Free Keen YouTube channel, which has been around for about a decade and has like 900 videos on it. But now
that you said that.
But there have been a couple of times when videos have been targeted for takedown, and they have been taken down by YouTube. So, for instance, one of them that comes to mind was the old high school outreach videos where Derek J. Freeman and I were, and Renee, were out at one of the local high schools in New Hampshire, and I think it was actually a middle school, high school combo. But either way, we were there and doing outreach and, sharing propaganda with the students. And we made videos of it because the principal tried to come and confront us on a couple of occasions and tried to kick us off the campus, called the police on us, got us issued no trespass orders. And so we captured all this on video and, of course, put that online. And somebody complained about it. Now, it could have been the school bureaucrats complaining. It could have been the parents of the kids complaining, my son's on this YouTube channel. Well, we didn't capture your kids for the purpose of making money off of them. It wasn't some sort of unlicensed use of an individual's visage without their permission. Now, you know a lot about this, Vincent.
Oh, absolutely.
You're putting together a production. You have to go around and get people to sign statements, right?
Yeah, because mine is commercial. I do if you were in public, they wouldn't have any. They wouldn't have any excuse. Well, yeah. Were you in the school or were you on
the public parking lot of the school?
I think it could be. I think it could be. I guess it could have been either way. Probably YouTube just ruled in there. Did you ever appeal it?
It was one of those things where I didn't even know about the takedown even happening. It happened on a channel that I don't get the emails for.
Because they shoot first and ask, or they get rid of videos. Yeah, they take it down. Yeah, figuratively, they shoot first and ask questions later, right? You have to go through the process, right? The burden is on you, on the content creator, to prove. So like anyone could go to any channel and put a bunch of fake copyright strikes, and the video can be taken down. Yeah, and it takes time, and it's absolutely unfair towards content creators.
YouTube is it's got it's definitely a disappointment, as Socrates was pointing out, that it at least appeared in the past to be a bastion of free speech, and of course as they got ginormous.
Well, then Google bought it out.
Yeah.
So it's like what they say: you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
So luckily, there are other options in the market. I know that, Johnson, you guys are putting together a show behind the scenes. We haven't yet promoted that because the first episode hasn't aired yet, but you and Chris Wade are working on a project. And I know that he's like, I don't want to rely on any of these providers. He's gone out and he's making contracts with like content delivery networks or something. I know he's looking into this at the very least.
I don't know anything about that.
To try to secure streaming, because you guys are going to be streaming the show in addition to archiving it. It's going to be a video show for those that weren't clear on that. And so the idea was, let's put our content on YouTube because that's where an audience is. But let's also have our content available through our own custom video streaming service. And I said, well, what does that cost? Because if you go through the online streaming providers like Livestream, Ustream, these are two of the biggies. If you want to get rid of advertisements on your channel, you usually have to pay a few $100s a month if not several $100s a month. And it's been a while since I've looked at the pricing, but it wasn't cheap. It didn't strike me as like, the average person can handle this. I mean, no, it was expensive. And then even once you cross that threshold of saying, all right, I'm willing to pay you live stream $300 a month to have no ads, well, then it's only like no ads for 50 viewers. And then if you go above that number, then those other viewers get ads or whatever. And so it's like you've got to pay through the nose.
It's a ripoff.
Yeah. So that's why when he told me it was only like a cent per hour or something to stream the video, because he'd run some numbers, I was actually really surprised at how affordable it was.
I've been kind of following along a little bit with, somebody who's been a guest on this program multiple times, Taryn Lupo.
Yeah, he's on Twitch now.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing, and he's been on YouTube for a long time, and YouTube has been messing
Lupo
with
TV.
him. He's been messing with his channel and making it
getting him
demonetized and all sorts of problems with that.
And he's super family friendly, by the way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very, very. Yeah. And he's also had the same problem with Facebook. He got off Facebook a long time ago. He's
good for him.
One up to you in that department, and that he
beat me to the punch on that for sure.
A very, very long time ago, and he's also completely off. I mean, he removed his account and everything.
Good for him.
So yeah, and that has happened a while ago. And he refuses to rely on this. So he's put up a video where he listed several alternatives to YouTube. Yeah. So he talks about, obviously he's trying to get funding through Patreon is one example. That's where you can donate to a creator.
That's correct.
Where, that way, if you're not getting ad revenue from YouTube or from one of those things, you're still going to need some way of making money.
If this is how you want to do your thing, this is your living. This is what you've become a content creator on the internet. And you put all your eggs in the YouTube basket, well, then they pulled those eggs out and demonetized a bunch of people's videos, and that's why you saw this massive migration to Patreon.
So he's mentioned a couple of different social networks that are alternative to Facebook, like Minds.com and MeWe.com.
Isn't that the Chinese one?
I believe so, yeah, possibly.
Okay.
I don't really know much about a lot of these sites. He mentions Steemit.
Steemit. Yeah. I like Steemit.
He mentions
Steemit. You can actually get paid to create content,
right?
Directly through a blockchain by simply having people go and vote it up.
But it's not really social media, as you said. It's just content sharing.
Right. So he mentions a couple of DTube and DLive.
DTube is Steam's as a Steam product,
right?
And this is one I wanted to actually bring up because in the world of video serving, we're used to centralized video servers. Like YouTube, has servers in racks somewhere that are serving all their videos up. I'm sure they have a lot of them, big time server power. And so what we have as an alternative to that now, besides other centralized service providers like Vimeo or Dailymotion or LiveLeak, these are other competitors to YouTube to some extent or another. You now have these decentralized video servers like DTube, which is actually people uploading videos to the Steemit blockchain, as I understand it. Now, you'd think that would make that blockchain real big, real fast. So I'm not sure what the size of the Steemit blockchain is right now with this DTube thing happening. But I know with DTube you can't do HD.
This is probably why they're trying to keep it down.
Yeah, keep the size down.
Aside from one other one, BitChute. There's two more that I saved the best for last.
All right, we'll continue.
I've tried BitChute, actually.
Is that decentralized as well?
It's complicated.
Okay. We'll come back with more. You can share your thoughts.
The ones I have are decentralized.
All right, 855-450, free like freedom. And is decentralization the way to go with big media like this? It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Hey, this is Ricky from Banyan Hill. You like freedom? I do. You like money? I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're going to love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard that right. $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.americanfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by April 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.americanfreedomchecks.com before the April 1st deadline. That's www.americanfreedomchecks.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Plus, the Discord on-air call-in line chat room is available there. That gets you on the air with us as well. Just join that through discord.lrn.fm. Here tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
We're talking about alternatives to the massive, mega centralized corporate media choices in the internet world, specifically YouTube, the big juggernaut in the world of video sharing. What are some of the alternatives? Because some people have been taken down entirely with not only their videos but their entire channels based on some level of controversy. There were also, of course, people being targeted for what they call demonetization, where people who have videos that YouTube determines are not family-friendly or whatever, or political or whatever their determinations are, they just pull the monetization or give you partial monetization.
And sometimes what they did is I had a video that it was a clip of Cantwell from his earlier show. He didn't say anything, he was mean in it, but didn't say anything racist or hate speech. Mm-hmm. And what they did was, if you have to have it's hard to find by itself, right, by searching it. So you'd already have to have a link. And then when you go on the page, it says, oh, this has been flagged by our community as being against the guidelines. Are you sure you want to go? So it's not in suggestions.
So they've pulled it out of the algorithm. The video still exists, but they've effectively made it hard to find.
Yes, from what I understand. So it put it into sort of like a cyber ghetto.
Yep. Those are all things that they're doing. And then, as Socrates pointed out, apparently now they've got special agreements with Fox News, CNN, and the major news providers to basically load up the news category on YouTube with all of their content and essentially box out anybody else who might be an independent and prevent them from being featured in any way, shape, or form. So really just a tragic story of a fall from grace for Google, and not an uncommon story. People probably shouldn't be surprised. But if you are only on one platform, then it's time to start looking at options. It's time to consider what else you have out there. And I got to say, I'm considering this as well right now. Mm-hmm. I spent some time a few weeks ago downloading every single video from the Free Keene YouTube channel, simply because, well, the FBI got my backup copies that I had before, so I needed a new copy. But and I'm wondering, what do I do with all this stuff? I mean, I've got 100 gigabytes of video footage, and that's the YouTube compressed version. It was many more gigabytes when I originally uploaded it to YouTube, because when you take a video and you upload it to YouTube, they recompress it and make the file size smaller. So it's the YouTube file sizes that I have. I've got hundreds of videos to upload. And so I was experimenting with DTube. You were going through a list, Johnson, of some suggestions. DTube is a decentralized video host, and it does work. I mean, at the very least, I've played back somebody's videos on DTube, and it's worked. But it's not HD, so you don't get the same level of quality as you do, if you care about that kind of thing. Maybe most people don't. But from YouTube, you can get HD on YouTube. You can't get that on DTube because it's basically file sharing. It's a decentralized blockchain-based video service on the Steemit or the Steam blockchain.
Least for now, you can't get HD.
Right, maybe in the future that will happen. Right. And it seems to be kind of experimental. It's, there's some people who say that it's been very slow and unresponsive at times. So I don't know what the reliability of DTube is, and I can't speak to it. I can tell you that I've tried to upload Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, which I could not successfully do. I even tried re-encoding it at standard definition and at below 1 gigabyte, because I'd read somewhere that you can't do more than a gigabyte. Even at like 900 megabytes or whatever.
Have you tried putting in like 144p?
900,000 megabytes. Have I? What now?
Well, yeah, at least with YouTube, it could play the lowest is 144p. Have you tried that?
No, I wouldn't even. That would be insultingly. I don't want anyone to watch a movie
well,
that I've
beggars
created.
Can't be choosers, Ian.
Well, then, yes, I'm not a beggar, but I can be a chooser because there are other options in the marketplace.
So I want to talk about lbry.io. So
that's
library,
another option, yeah.
So this is a blockchain-based technology.
Some of them are based in New Hampshire, the library coders.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the idea behind Library is that it's a free, open, community-run digital marketplace. You own your data. You control the network. Indeed, you are the network. Hollywood films, college lessons, amazing streamers, and more on this first media network ruled by you. So it's outside of the control of government and copyright and all of that, because it's completely decentralized.
Is it out of beta? Is it still in beta?
I'm not sure.
See, I haven't been following the post very closely with Library. It's something that I've always been interested in, but again, I just hadn't taken the time to look.
All I know is what I've seen, that there's a project based on this called SPEE.ch, so speech. And this is an open source project that they say right on there. It's like, please contribute to the existing site or fork it and make your own. Mm-hmm. It's truly open. And they are a media hosting site that reads from and publishes content to the Library blockchain.
Okay.
So it's a hosting service, but with the added benefit that it stores your content on a decentralized network of computers. The Library network, this means that your images are stored in multiple locations without a single point of failure. So speech, you can basically run your own open source copy of this software and set up your own YouTube.
Okay.
So we have now reached that day and age.
Well, almost. I went to the website and it says publishing is temporarily disabled. So,
so like I could get a
maybe it's just for tonight. I hope. But.
Yeah.
So I could get let's say if I have a bootleg copy of a movie still in theaters, I could upload it to library and it'll be on there. There's nothing.
There's no way to take it down.
No way to take it down. Wow.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Unless they hard fork the blockchain, but that would be something they'd have to do every time somebody uploaded something illegal, which I presume has happened multiple times already. To a system like that. That's one of those things where I actually saw one of the executives from Library being interviewed somewhere, and I forget what the circumstance was, but the question came up about pirated content or shared, so-called illegally shared content, and of course his reaction had to be like, well, as the CEO of a nonprofit corporation that's based in the United States, I have to say that we don't support piracy, and we did not create Library for that purpose. But it seems pretty clear that a decentralized, blockchain-based, anyone can upload, no one can stop it kind of thing is absolutely going to be used for file sharing of, without permission of the original copyright creator. So I am interested to see, how Library pans out. It seems like the DTube option is sort of hit and miss. It doesn't, people aren't really praising it as the best thing out there. I have yet to actually have somebody tell me they've had experience with uploading to Library. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means nobody's said, hey, you need to do this now. This is working really great. Nobody's really given a review. So if you have experience with these decentralized networks for video hosting and you want to comment, we'd love to hear from you. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And if the site comes back up later tonight, I'll try to upload if I can upload Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree to it, even if it's in SD, standard definition resolution, I'll be happy. Because then I know I can upload anything that's shorter than an hour and a half, and that won't be a problem. So I will definitely try this later on because, like I said, I've got all these freaking YouTube videos, and last thing I want to see happen is YouTube to swoop in and then all of a sudden shut down an entire channel and completely eliminate 10 years worth of editing and work and content creation. So anyway, so you can obviously still go with the centralized networks, and to some extent there's an argument for it, right? Like, oh yeah, decentralization is cool and all, but can you really get the throughput that you need? Can you really get the bandwidth out of a decentralized network at this point? In the future, if there's enough nodes and enough bandwidth on that network, then yeah. But right now, Library, for instance, is not going to be able to take on a tenth of YouTube's bandwidth, right? So, I mean, if you go and you look at the statistics on YouTube, they'll tell you, and I'm not even going to...
Well, that's an interesting question. It's interesting the way you phrase that, a tenth of YouTube's bandwidth. Well, the only way that they're going to get a tenth of YouTube's bandwidth is if they get all those users, a tenth of YouTube's users, at which point, yes, they will be able to take on a tenth of YouTube's bandwidth.
If they get those users to contribute to the blockchain, right? You can go right now and go to DTube and watch a video, and you're not contributing to that network.
Right, okay.
Right? So the average person...
Well, no, actually, that's not true.
No?
No, that's what I was seeing, is that you were a peer for the time that you're connected.
You were on BitChute.
Oh, was that? Okay, BitChute. Okay.
And a peer means you're just downloading. That doesn't mean that you're uploading. Because, so BitChute, you mentioned this one, Vincent. You said you had experience with it. Yes. I have not heard of it until before tonight, but you went to the site, Johnson, and it looks like it's torrent-based.
Right.
Would you say that's accurate? If BitChute is torrent-based video hosting, that means that the only way you can really be a valuable contributor to the network is to host 100% of the file as a seed.
There is an upstream here listed on this.
So you are upstreaming as you're watching?
Well, I'm not seeing upstream right now, but
it could. In theory.
It looks like it.
All right, that's pretty cool. I'm interested in that technology. Luckily, there are options. You don't have to stick with YouTube. We got more coming up here. You can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish. They'll hold your cards and cash. But they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics. And it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President, something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,311 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,551. Antiwar.com reports U.S. military involvement in the Saudi invasion of Yemen was never authorized by Congress. 3 years into the conflict, this might actually matter, with the Senate set to vote on S.J. Res. 54, a War Powers Act challenge, which would require the U.S. to end involvement in the war. The resolution is enjoying growing support across the Senate, with high-ranking officials like Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia coming out in favor. Sources say a vote on the resolution is scheduled for Tuesday. During the war, U.S. involvement has mostly centered around supporting Saudi bombing of Yemen, including targeting assistance and mid-air refueling of warplanes. U.S. warships have also participated in the Saudi naval blockade, which has resulted in mass starvation in parts of the country. Getting a vote is no small feat, despite the War Powers Act obliging floor votes on such challenges. An effort in the House last year was foiled, replaced with a non-binding alternative. This will be the first ever War Powers Act challenge in the Senate. The Trump administration has been scrambling to shore up support, arguing that the war isn't authorized, but not being at a war would be bad for U.S.-Saudi relations. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in the U.S. to do some last-minute lobbying as well, meeting individually with senators. Though Salman and the administration appear to believe this will sway the vote in their favor, it may actually do the opposite. That's because Saudi war crimes in Yemen are increasingly concerning in Congress, and the prince's defense of the war is not very convincing.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday not to block Pennsylvania's new congressional district voting maps, which Republicans challenged as unconstitutional. The state Supreme Court redrew the map in February after it determined the previous map plainly and palpably violated the state constitution. Republican leaders said the court did not give state lawmakers enough time to redraw the map after the February ruling. Monday's ruling followed another unsuccessful challenge in a federal district court earlier in the day, in which a 3-judge panel said the GOP leaders who brought the case did not have have standing to represent the whole General Assembly. The Pennsylvania Democrats who challenged the 2011 voting map accused Republicans of gerrymandering, diluting the votes of Democrats and racial minorities. The League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania told USA Today it was deja vu all over again with arguments that have not improved with age. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision came a day before a filing deadline for the May primaries. The new map will also be used in the general election in which Pennsylvania is considered a battleground state. Pennsylvania is not the only state facing a battle over its congressional map. The U.S. Supreme Court delayed its ruling on a similar North Carolina case to give it time to consider other cases in Wisconsin and Maryland.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports police said on Monday an Uber self-driving car hit and killed a woman crossing the street in Arizona, marking the first fatality involving an autonomous vehicle and a potential blow to the technology expected to transform transportation. The ride-sharing company said it was suspending North American testing of its self-driving vehicles, which are currently going on in Arizona, Pittsburgh, and Toronto. Police said Elaine Herzberg was walking her bicycle outside of the crosswalk on a 4-lane road in the Phoenix suburb of Tempe about 10 p.m. Sunday evening when she was struck by the Uber vehicle traveling at about 40 miles per hour. The car was in autonomous mode with an operator behind the wheel. Tempe Police Sergeant Ronald Elcock told reporters at a news conference the pedestrian was outside of the crosswalk. As soon as she walked into the lane of traffic, she was struck. Elcock said he did not know how close Herzberg was to the vehicle when she stepped into the lane. Herzberg later died from her injuries in a hospital. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Markets went into a frenzy today after the price of money suddenly skyrocketed to $90 a dollar. Onion reporters spoke to economics professor Mark Cosgrave about the soaring cost of U.S. currency and the impact of increasingly unpredictable dollar-to-dollar rates.
Right now, money prices are steeply rising with no signs of slowing down. This morning alone, the price of dollars nearly tripled, with 1 cent worth approximately $6. That's exponentially higher than even a week ago when money was trading at roughly $53 on the dollar. To put it bluntly, we're now in the midst of a national economic crisis.
According to Cosgrave, the abrupt spike in dollar prices initially caused many Americans to hold on to their money, hoping that the $90 cost of dollars would soon dip back down. But as prices continued to climb, investors panicked and began purchasing as much money as possible.
But with the cost of quarters hitting $4.97 and the $5 bill jumping to a 12-year high of $372, the days when you could get $30 or $40 for just a couple of bucks are unfortunately long gone.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here, toll free. Coming up, the Nazi pug story. Vincent's going to share that with us. Of course, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Join us toll free at 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, or Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. And it's Ian Johnson and Vincent in the studio with you here tonight. Of course, we've got the Discord on-air call-in chat room where you can get on the air with us over at discord.lrn.fm. And if we get the chance, Johnson, you found a story about old Bernie Sanders and him extolling the virtues of the Chile, or the Chilean...
Free education. All education should be free.
And any excuse to have Johnson do the Bernie Sanders impression, I support. So we should get into that, too. But
I need education to figure out what's going on with this... these clients that are using this web torrent stuff, because I can't, we were talking about it and I can't figure out for the life of me how this stuff is hosted.
Oh, you're talking about the BitChute?
It works really well.
You're talking about
over and over. BitChute, but it's not just BitChute. There's a whole, I think you've mentioned before file.pizza.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, so, file.pizza is another, peer-to-peer file transfers in your browser. There's a bunch of these different things. Instant.io, PureCloud.
File.pizza, that's the dumbest
yeah, I wouldn't trust that. I'd be like, eh.
It's actually was a huge thing. It was in the news for a little while. It's interesting because it's a way, if you need to send somebody a really large file and you want to send it to them instantly, you can just do it browser to browser.
Wow.
It's just, that's what it is. File that pizza is just this way of sending. If you need to send somebody a huge file, file pizza is a great way to do it. Great way to do it.
Is it encrypted?
I believe so. Yeah, it's like a torrent sort of situation. So yeah, all I know is somehow the hosting is happening in this massive network of people that are using the sites at the time.
That's unbelievable.
I don't understand it. But
because with torrents, you have to keep a client open at all times. You have to run, like right now, I've got Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree and the 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire videos and a couple of Free Talk Live archives that I'm serving here from this computer.
That's how I understand it.
But is there a frequently asked questions?
I was looking at it and I can't figure out the answer.
Well, if you do, let us know.
Yeah, I will.
Meanwhile, let's change gears because we did talk tech for a little while there about YouTube and some alternatives. And you're still, if you've got one that we didn't mention, please feel free to call in and enlighten us. But Vincent, you brought in a story that I actually also had here tonight. I believe it's from InfoWars. The one I had is from InfoWars.
Oh, wow. No, for once, I'm not the one with a story from InfoWars. No, the one I got is from thescottishsun.co.uk.
Probably a little more accurate, a little more local. What's the
not
story?
Necessarily accurate, but local. So I followed this. It began a while ago, but you know how the legal system works. It takes a while.
Years.
And I took interest, especially in bureaucracy like the UK. Despite it being the birthplace of common law, Magna Carta, and everything, how far has it fallen? I used to have a pug. I had a pug for most of my life.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the pug on your profile picture.
Pug O'Shea,
Pug O'Shea.
Well, his name wasn't Pug O'Shea at the time, but I saw the old picture. He's long passed away, but pugs sort of
just don't bring him on United Airlines.
Pugs.
Oh, I don't think it was a pug, but didn't
it was a French bulldog. Same type of dog. Any of these dogs with short muzzles that don't breathe well.
Somebody working for United Airlines shoved a dog into the overhead bins with, against the objections of the owner, and
because the luggage or the pet carrier wouldn't fit under the seat.
Right, and they basically killed the dog at the end of the flight. When the owner went to get the dog, I presume it suffocated to death in there.
Yeah, we were advised never to bring our pug on a plane for any reasons, even in like the. But
they found it repugnant.
Okay, so the story is the title is Convicted Coatbridge YouTube Comedian Found Guilty Over Nazi Pug Salute Video. Mark Meechan, or I believe that's how it's pronounced, age 30, recorded his girlfriend's dog Buddha responding to statements such as "gas the Jews" and "Sieg Heil." And it has a picture of the guy and a pug. So a man who filmed a pet pug giving Nazi salutes in response to phrases such as "gas for Jews" has been found guilty under the Communications Act. Mark Meechan, 30, appeared at Airdrie Sheriff Court on trial for allegedly committing the offense by uploading the footage to YouTube.
It's just stupid on top of stupid.
Oh, absolutely. Meechan from Coatbridge filmed the video, according to him, to wind up girlfriend Suzanne Kelly, 29, and turn her dog into the, quote, least cute thing imaginable. And the online comedian says he has received death threats and has failed to land himself a job due to the ongoing court case. And he had the dog, and I saw the video of it. InfoWars actually had a decent compilation. They interviewed the guy. Basically, he would convince the dog named Buddha. He would train it to react to certain things. So he would say "Sieg Heil" and have train the dog to raise its paw.
Yeah.
And he would say "gas for Jews" and the dog would react. And
it is tasteless as hell.
Oh, that was the point. That was his point. Because his girlfriend, he claimed his girlfriend was obsessing about how cute their dog was. He wanted
tried
to
make it not cute.
Yeah, by turning into a Nazi.
So is he actually a Nazi?
No.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he turned to a libertarian after all these crimes, the state is, all the harassment. This is what happens when you live in a place with no free speech. And the online comedian says he has received death threats and has failed to land himself a job due to the ongoing court case. Today,
that sucks.
He was found guilty under the Communications Act.
Wow.
Sheriff Derek O'Carroll said, quote, "The accused is quite obviously an intelligent and articulate man. The accused knew that the material was offensive and knew that the material was offensive and knew why it was offensive. Despite that, the accused made a video containing anti-Semitic content, and he would have known it was grossly offensive to many Jewish people. Mr. O'Carroll did not believe Meechan had made the video to annoy... Oh, I'm sorry, I got to read this straight. Mr. O'Carroll did not believe Meechan had made the video to annoy his girlfriend and ruled it anti-Semitic. He found Meechan guilty of a charge under the Communications Act that he posted a video on social media and YouTube which was grossly offensive and aggravated by religious prejudice.
So in the United Kingdom, if you post a video that somebody finds offensive, it's illegal.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, not just that someone finds offensive, it's a protected group finds offensive, or whatever protected ideology that the British government or whoever's in charge, whoever happens to be in charge of a jurisdiction, finds offensive. And so during
I imagine
cases,
there's a lot of groups that covers.
Oh, absolutely. I remember during a terrorist attack in the UK, one of the first things the police station tweeted out was, "We understand the situation. We're monitoring Twitter for hate speech." And we will be making arrests.
Another famous comedian from the UK, Ricky Gervais, chimed in to say, he said, if you don't believe in a person's right to say things that you might find grossly offensive, then you don't believe in freedom of speech.
No, clearly. I mean, it's pretty clear that there's no freedom of speech in the UK.
I doubt they claim they'd support it at all. And do they...
There are people in the United States who don't support free speech. Like, you can talk to a lot of the college students, and they're more than happy to hear proposals to restrict freedom of speech. That's not to say that those are going to move forward, because thankfully one of the things that we do still have to most of an extent in the United States is the semblance of free speech. You can still criticize politicians. You can still say pretty much anything you want.
It's so interesting, too, that they're moving forward with this now during a Republican presidency, because the first speech
moving forward with what?
Moving forward with wanting to limit free speech. I mean, the first speech that'll be limited is, speech that promotes liberal ideas.
Who is moving forward with that? I mean, I'm just talking about generally, like you can ask college students.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything's moving forward. That
sure,
just means
but they
that
would
you can
love
get
to
them
support
agree
legislation
to it.
on it.
Yeah, sure.
It's the same as these stupid sheeple high school students marching to have everyone's guns taken away. They're the same people who screech and yell at the top of their lungs about Donald Trump, and yet they're begging people who serve under Donald Trump and carry out his orders to take their only
bidding.
To take their only defense against them.
That's true. The people who are advocating against freedom of speech or advocating against the right to bear arms, these are people who don't understand why those rights exist. And there's no surprise that there are a lot of younger people who are doing it because they were all raised in the government school system.
Absolutely. Freedom is slavery.
They were indoctrinated against these ideas.
20 different states in 2017 proposed bills to restrict people's right to protest.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not unsurprising. There are restrictions on like time and place and manner, and a lot of places want you to get permits to protest, which I don't agree with doing any of those things. I think you have a right to do something. You go out, you do it. You don't ask for permission, because if you're asking permission, you've converted a right to a privilege right then. More is coming up. Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. We're talking about the Nazi pug. And we're going to continue that coming up here. Your calls, thoughts, certainly welcome on whatever is on your mind. Did you know that it was illegal in the United Kingdom and you might go to prison for just saying something offensive?
It's all over Europe.
Is that also true in Canada? Because I know that the Canadian broadcast restrictions do have some kind of rules. Do you know about that, Vincent?
I'm not an expert, but there certainly is hate speech laws there. I think they've done something with
LG. Is it as bad as the UK?
Probably not either as bad or as worse. I haven't lived there. I haven't lived there for a significant period of time doing content. So I wouldn't know. Sometimes I do get worried about some of the topics I cover on my show, that when I go across the border despite being a citizen, am I going to get detained for whatever reason?
Well, it's not illegal for you to make hate speech in – I'm not saying you're making hate speech, but what they might determine to be hate speech, speech that might offend. You can legally do that when you're in the United States. They can't punish you for it in Canada.
Well, I'm not sure, because Cantwell said he's afraid of going to Canada because he'd be arrested immediately at the border. But maybe well, also Cantwell's not an attorney, and I shouldn't take his advice, but maybe he's mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here, especially if you have familiarity with the UK or Canada's rules against these things. So what happened was a comedian, according to the story you were telling us, Vincent, a British comedian. It was in Scotland where this happened?
He was like, this is the first time I'm hearing that he was a comedian. I think it's like he made comedy YouTube videos, but he's certainly not like a comedian is in the sense of like Peter Sellers or Stephen Fry or any of these, or Ricky Gervais.
He made he trained his dog to respond to certain offensive phrases regarding like Nazis and such.
As a joke against his girlfriend who owns the dog.
Right. And so he trained the dog to give a salute, like a Hitler salute, or as close as a dog could come to doing, something like that. He would raise his paw when some sort of offensive thing was said. I forget what it was.
Absolutely. And anyone who's owned a dog could know that you could train a dog to raise its paw for you. You could train it to speak. You do all kinds of stuff.
And so he made a video about this because it would have been one thing to show his girlfriend personally. Then at the very least, there would have been no evidence. But he made a video about it, put it online.
It's gotten a lot of views, a lot.
I couldn't find it. I don't know what to search for. There's Nazi Pug updates from the dude's channel, so maybe it's on there
Try
somewhere.
going, if you sort by highest viewed, most viewed, you could probably find it.
Okay.
Here, it just has a cat, and this is, I'm sure this is a biased source, Scotland.
Oh, mate, your dog's a Nazi?
That's it, yep.
Okay, all right.
You could hear his
So,
accent.
the following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
I understand and wish to proceed. So, let's see here.
Is always
I don't know. Is it profane?
How cute and adorable her wee dog is.
No, I don't believe it is.
And so I
At least
thought I
not
would
this
turn them
part.
into the least cute thing that I could think of, which is a Nazi. Buddha, do you want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice? Mum will gas the juice, son.
Okay, he gets down off the couch.
Do you want to gas the juice? Come on, gas
It
the
gets
juice.
better, it gets
Come on, gas the juice,
Or
son.
more stuff happens.
Come on. Do you want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice?
Really doing anything?
Do you want to gas the juice?
I'm not really sure what
Gas
the
the
dog
juice.
is. It's just him yelling, "Do you want to gas the juice?" Saying over and over again, "Do you want to gas
But
the
the
juice?"
dog
to
is
the
getting
dog.
excited, and I think it proceeds to. This is showing the training process.
I think this is unfair. The dog should also be on trial. They say you could indict a ham sandwich. Why not a dog?
Don't give him
get up
ideas.
now, Buddha. It's time to get up. Do I gas the juice?
And now he's watching Hitler videos.
You could hear the pugs breathing in the background.
Sieg Heil.
Oh, and he lifts his arm. when
Sieg
he says
Heil.
Sieg Heil. It's
Sieg Heil.
it's definitely offensive.
It's a novelty.
I can understand why people are upset about it, but it's silly. It's just silly. He's just having fun with his dog.
Well, and he's facing jail time.
Yeah, and you're saying, and I'm wondering how much. Do you know what the potential sentence is here? You have an article from Scotland, right, about this?
Yeah, so sentencing has been deferred until April 23rd.
I see. But in a lot of cases, at least here, if somebody's hit with a misdemeanor, you know that they're facing up to a year. Is there any kind of level of the charge that they indicate in the story as far as, what he could be facing for this?
I haven't seen, not by this article. Not by this
Are they going to try to send a message and hit him with a hefty sentence to let people know you shouldn't make offensive YouTube videos?
I imagine that's probably a given. That's what the prosecutor's going to try and do.
So if you want to follow the case and let us know what happens in case, Vincent doesn't hear about it or you don't get back on to tell us about it, definitely interested in hearing what happens after. Oh, now later in the video, he transposes Hitler's face onto the dog's face and just sort of goes back and forth between Hitler's face and the dog's face. And it's very, very funny. I mean, that's amusing. I mean, I'll give it. Yeah, sometimes comedy can be offensive, right? There's some very offensive comedy out there, like the movie Postal. You ever seen that one?
Oh, well, the movie, yeah, that was by Uwe Boll. I mean, the game was, I don't know. I don't
It was
know why
based on an offensive video game called Postal.
I don't know why you even mentioned the movie. I mean, the game is so much better. Like Postal 2, I mean.
The movie's incredibly offensive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you've ever seen that movie, it is just offensive joke after offensive joke. I mean, it opens with a joke about the 9/11 attacks. It opens with the purported attackers flying into the plane and what they imagine the conversation was between those two.
Oh, so it was also government propaganda about the thing. Okay, I see. Well, George W. Bush and Osama bin Laden were characters, if I recall, in the movie.
I think you're right about that. Yep. And at one point there is a joke about Nazi gold that the director of the film, Uwe Boll, who is just sort of this notoriously bad director, he makes just absolutely low budget.
He's such a colorful character, though. He challenges his critics to boxing matches,
which is an old thing that Andy Kaufman used to do, I think, back in the day. But yeah, he's interesting. He's interesting, and he's not afraid of making fun of himself either, which is self-deprecation's always fun.
Great quality to have in life.
But at this point, he actually jokes about something that people have accused him of, which is that his family was like Nazis, and that he funds his movies through the gold that they took from Jewish people's bodies back in the World War II. And he actually makes a joke about that in the movie.
Well, you know how he does fund his movies? Through through German and through tax. There's a way if you
Some
invest
kind of German tax thing,
Yeah, so his movies are all so bad. People wonder how does this guy keep getting money to make sequels or more? And what he does is investors, they'll invest in his movie for they'll invest in his movie knowing it's going to lose money because they could write that off for taxes. So that's why he gets $1 million budgets. And good for him as an artist. He wants to get his story out there. He enjoys it. He still makes money because obviously a director has a salary. Hey, good for him. It's not all about the zeros.
I don't think I've seen any of his movies in full besides Postal.
I saw The Name of the King. That was decent. I liked that one.
Really?
Yeah, it was with Jason Statham. And,
I saw a review of that. I saw the Channel Awesome review of that. God, I always forget that dude's name, whoever it is.
Doug?
Yeah, but his character's name.
The Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, there you go, Nostalgia Critic. He tears the hell out of those Uwe Boll movies. It's just absolute garbage. Anyway, more coming up here. You can share your thoughts. Bernie Sanders and free education on the way on Free Talk Live.
You've seen crazy diets to lose weight. At GCN Team, our healthy body weight loss system simply neutralizes the body, bringing down cravings. It has been proven that nutritional deficiencies drive appetite for carbs, sugars, and fats. Lose weight the easy way. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Fighting cravings is a fool's game. Give the body what it needs to be satisfied. Again, 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. Just dial toll free to join us here. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, it's Ian
and Johnson
and Vincent.
Coming up, we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders and what he has had to say about the Chilean schools there, the Chilean college free, so-called free education. And he's extolling the supposed virtues of that, but we'll dig into that a little bit here. Your calls and thoughts are certainly welcome as well. And I want to let you know about ForkFest. It is coming up in about 3 months. It's going to be a great excuse to come up, check out New Hampshire. Maybe you've heard about the New Hampshire freedom migration that's been going on here with libertarians and voluntarists and liberty-loving anarchists moving to New Hampshire from all around the world. In order to get active so we can hopefully achieve some more semblance of freedom in our lifetime. You want to meet some of your future neighbors, check out the lay of the land. Perfect excuses to come up for ForkFest. It's happening June 14th through June 18th. It'll be at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Now, Vincent, did you make it up to – I don't think you made it up to Rogers last year, right?
No, not last year.
So you've never been up there before?
No. Well, I've been in that area because Santa's Village, I believe, is somewhere
It's right down the road.
So, yeah, I went to Santa's Village when I was younger, before I lived in New Hampshire, actually.
But it's been a while since
yeah,
you've been
it has
up
been a
that
while,
way.
yeah.
So you definitely want to check out ForkFest if you like the if you like the idea of a decentralized event. Now, if you want a centralized event where you got to pay a fee to enter, then there's the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which happens right afterwards. So ForkFest happens the 5 days prior to PorkFest, but there's no ticket price for ForkFest. The only price of attendance is whatever it costs for you to camp there. So, and I don't know offhand what that is. The Rogers Campground has camping sites. They've got RV sites, and they even have a motel as well.
Somewhere between like $30 and $45 or something like that.
For a night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it's the rustic camping, I think it's probably like $30. And then if you want to get power and water, I think they all have water.
Something like that.
But if you want
What's
the power,
pretty expensive, $40.
Not really. No, I mean,
to me that's expensive.
If you add, if you think about the fact that you don't have to do it all yourself, you can have multiple people sharing a campsite.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if you have 4 people, now you're talking about $10 per night, and if you have 8 people, it's even cheaper. So and
8
a lot
people
of times,
in a tent, 8
no,
sweaty
multiple
people.
tents. You can have more than one tent.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah,
okay.
These sites are fairly large. This isn't like you're packed in like sardines. It's a good amount of space.
20 or 30 foot site by 20 or 30 foot, like square.
Yeah, and some of them are even double sites, and you can get larger sites if necessary.
And is it going to be family friendly, Ian? Could I bring my younger?
I can't guarantee that, no. But I do know that some people brought their families last year. One of the issues that caused the forking in the beginning, because ForkFest forked from, sort of split off from the Porcupine Freedom Festival, was there were always these conflicts at PorkFest between, let's just call them the Libertine Party segment versus the Square Conservative faction. And Johnson, this caught you up one year when you put a fun little thing to find on the map once upon a time.
That's right.
A tree that looked a little bit like a penis.
That's right.
On the map of Rogers Campground, and some of the uppity conservative types got mad about that.
Actually, no one actually really got mad about it.
Really?
Yeah, no. It was fake outrage manufactured by someone who was mad at me for something totally different.
Oh. Okay.
So the people who actually got mad were mad that it was done without consulting them. Like, it wasn't.
I see.
No one was really mad about what actually happened, other than the one person saying that they were, because they were manufacturing outrage.
Seems how
I
it
thought
is.
somebody's kid found the thing and went to their mom.
Nobody,
and
no, because it was so.
on the map.
No, not at all. Because it was so not. It was so hidden and not obvious. I mean, it was like a Where's.
It was an Easter egg.
It was like a Where's Waldo. I mean, like, you would have to really, and it was green and looked like a bush.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was a shape that you would have to,
A
and
phallic
tiny,
tree.
like literally tiny, exactly like a Where's Waldo kind of situation. It was designed based off of an idea of a Where's Waldo kind of situation, like.
But at the time, there were issues with, there was like the conservatives had a camp zone where they didn't want any of the partiers hanging out, which is fine, right? Keep the party to
They
one
want to
section.
do their arts and crafts and have little seminars.
Or whatever it is they do over there. Keep them in there. That's fine. That's fine. But that didn't mean that the dude walking down the street with wearing a loincloth didn't offend people. There were some people who were offended by that. He wasn't naked. He was wearing a loincloth. Some women were topless here and there during some of the pork fests in the past. And so this caused a bit of a stir. It caused some tensions, I guess, between certain groups. There was one group that called themselves, there was one year they called themselves Not Bat S Crazy, NBC. And then the other one was Normal by Comparison. And so they all got a bunch of T-shirts with NBC written on it, and they all wore those shirts on the same day, so you would know who the normal people are at PorkFest. And so finally, it got to the point where it has schismed, and there's just a number of people who don't want to go back to PorkFest. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think that PorkFest is a fine event. Even though I've been kicked out of that event personally, I've never told people to not go to PorkFest.
But Anarchapulco is better.
Anarchapulco was, if you had to pick one event to go to, that's the big party event, I would say. Now, maybe ForkFest will rise to that level. I don't know. Like I said, it's decentralized. So there's nobody who's in charge of ForkFest. If you want to see speeches, well, then you need to bring a stage, or you need to bring a PA system and put it up on a picnic table or whatever and have a speech or have speeches. If you want to have music, bring the band in. Bring your band and perform music. So everybody's going to be kind of doing their own thing. Daryl's already announced he's going to be throwing a party, and he's got a bunch of booze that he's just going to be giving away, apparently. And there's also a wedding that's going to be happening during ForkFest. And Daryl's also going to be putting athletic events together. So we're already starting to see decentralized events sort of cropping up. And if you want to get the latest, go to forkfest.party. That's the website where you can link to the forum where you can discuss what's going on at ForkFest. And you can do things like say, hey, I want to go, but I want roommates, or I want campsite mates. And then other people might be able to post to that thread saying, yeah, they would also like to share a campsite. So you may end up camping with total strangers who you will then get to know during those 5 days. Again, it's June 14th through the 18th. Go to forkfest.party to learn more about it. We will be there broadcasting from the event. And let's talk a little bit about Bernie Sanders. He is in the news yet again. Apparently, Johnson, he's been extolling these so-called virtues of government-run, government-paid for, taxpayer-paid for education in Chile, of all places.
Well, this was a big thing during his campaign. He, Sanders blathered in 2015 that Chile was one of several countries offering free college to its students, and stated on his website, if other countries can take this action, so can the United States of America. And the article from the Daily Wire goes on to say, forget it, buddy. Go back to your pudding cup. The Brookings Institution has released new comprehensive article examining the results of instituting free college for students in Chile. And the report found that lower income students, the class of students that Sanders and Clinton were appealing to, were crowded out of the more selective universities that they would have been admitted to before scholarship aid was increased. Chilean lawmakers adopted a tuition-free policy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying, Johnson, that a government program actually hurt the very people it was intended to help?
Imagine that. It did exactly the opposite of what it was intended to do. Chilean lawmakers adopted a tuition-free policy in 2016, and it was called gratuidad in Spanish. Well, yeah. The government
like a tip. It's free.
Government aid was restricted to students with low and middle income. The program did not require students to meet a test score cutoff. The average tuition in Chile costs families roughly half of the median family income. When gratuidad was applied in 2016, it was restricted to students in the lower 50% of the income distribution. But by 2018, students in the lower 60% of the family income distributed became eligible.
So it widened.
Yeah, it widened. All public universities are required to follow gratuidad, so they are forced to waive tuition for students in those categories.
Stand by. We'll continue here in moments. Your calls and thoughts in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live. Certainly welcome. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450 free like freedom, 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. And also join us on the Discord, on-air call-in line chat room over at discord.lrn.fm. Here in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Vincent.
Bernie Sanders claiming that Chile...
And Bernie!
Yeah, that's right. He's claiming Chile is a great example of free education. But as you're pointing out here, Johnson, the story, and I forget where it's from, that
the Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire is saying that, no, it didn't really turn out the way Bernie's trying to make you think it turned out in Chile. In that the lowest portion of the economy, the people who are the poor that purportedly need this educational assistance, are actually being turned away,
right,
compared to middle class students that are receiving the aid.
Yeah, so it says here, when gratuidad was applied in 2016, it was restricted to students in lower 50%
That's the policy
of the income distribution, but by 2018, students in the lower 60% of the income family distribution became eligible. All public universities are required to follow gratuidad, so they are forced to waive tuition for students in those categories. Brookings notes, an empirical study by Alonso Bucari of MIT uses enrollment changes observed after earlier financial aid reforms in Chile to predict that gratuidad will reduce enrollment among low-income students and push those who do enroll into lower quality institutions. Just like it works here in the United States with, public high schools that as, neighborhoods gentrify and whatnot, that they just, in the areas where people are poorer, they have really horrible quality government schools that are just garbage. But it's free.
Hey,
your kids might graduate illiterate, but it's free. You didn't have to pay.
It's even close to the U.S. in terms of college. Like when the cost of tuition and everything else started to rise when the government guaranteed everyone a loan. So the school decided to raise tuition because everyone could afford it.
Well, right. I mean, if the tuition's guaranteed by the government, then just raise your prices.
Or not even tuition, but a loan to pay for the tuition. Now people want the government to pay the entire tuition. So what's the school's going to say?
Jack them up.
Yep, you could pay. If you could pay all tuition, you could pay for more expensive housing, even more football stadiums, even higher wages for the coaches.
Yeah. You might be able to not afford, taxes, your property taxes, or afford your rent because the taxes are so high because they're charging $19,000, $20,000, $30,000 per student. But at least your kid will have daycare until they graduate illiterate.
There you go.
Great government school system. So let's just keep these things free. So a 2017 paper by Richard Murphy, Judith Scott Clayton, and Gillian Wyness documents these trends in an analysis of tuition policies and college enrollment in England. Bucari stated that there will be a 20% plunge among low-income students that enroll in universities compared to the situation before gratuidad.
A 20% plunge.
Yep.
So beforehand, they had 20% more. They're saying that now, as a result of this free college, that it's actually going to drive low-income students out.
Yep. Brookings points out a 2016 analysis by Matt Chingos shows that the benefits of free college in the U.S. would skew towards middle and upper class families. Low-income student enrollment in the U.S. institutions could decline if free college proposals led to the type of crowding out predicted to occur in Chile's system. Even if the U.S. can avoid the regressive effects of free tuition seen in other countries, the policy may still diminish educational quality, as if it could get any worse.
Well, I'm sure it can get worse.
Yeah.
Just get more government involved in it, and it's going to get worse. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Scott. He's calling from Wisconsin and listening online through GCNlive.com. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, old timer! Glad I listened to you guys about 8 years ago, and you're still going, so congratulations on that.
We got nothing better to do, Scott. Welcome back.
Thanks, dear. I'm very fond of Wisconsin myself, for my name is Johnson, so I'm very fond of Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, hey, I wanted to get the troops fired up real quick.
The troops?
I was listening to one of your archives the other day, just to see how your show was doing, and I just wanted to know if you guys know about Sodom and Gomorrah.
The biblical story. Vincent is a Catholic.
Yes.
So he probably knows better than most of us here. Vincent, can you give us a summary of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah, it was these two cities in the Bible. I'm not an expert on the Old Testament, but
I would have said it was people. I had no idea.
These two cities in the Old Testament and they were just like the people were just wicked, and God sent
bad people.
Yeah, bad. They were like wicked, and God sent some people who were faithful to God were there, and the people of Sodom and Gomorrah said, okay, come out, we're going to rape you or do something. That's where we get the term sodomy from. So God told an angel or so basically God told the people to get out. And so when they're leaving, he says, I'm going to destroy the city, do not look back. So while God is destroying the city with fire and brimstone and just totally, Lot, that's his name. Lot,
I know the Lot story.
Lot, his wife, looks back and she turns to salt because she sees all the degeneracy out of it.
Yeah, that's right, brother. I agree with him on that. But it goes back to what I was thinking is the Mary and Steve was involved, and they didn't turn away, and they got smoked like a piece of bacon. So
I don't understand what you just said. Mary and Steve was involved. They turned around and got smoked like a piece of bacon. What does that mean?
Sounds like a song.
Well, what does that mean is that they didn't turn from their wicked ways. Because, here's the thing.
Oh, you're anti-gay. You're saying it's...
Well, let me just say this, though, okay? Who was in the garden? Adam and Eve. It wasn't Eve and Steve.
I thought it was the Jolly Green Giant.
Are you kidding me?
So
are you really that's going to be your excuse because gay people are bad because Adam and Eve, not Steve and Steve? Has it really been 8 years since you called this show?
Yes, it has.
Wow.
And I'm just trying to get
what is wrong? Can you explain to me what is wrong with two people loving each other? I mean, if it is whether it is a man or a woman and a woman, what is so wrong with that?
What is so wrong with that is that I don't hate those people. I love everybody, but the Bible clearly teaches that it's between a man and a woman.
Which Bible?
The King James Old Bible. So
is it every Bible?
Get a new Bible. Get a new Bible like other Christians do.
Well, I'll just say this.
There's like 100 or 200 or 300. How many sects of Christianity are there?
Isn't it
Change
possible?
sects. Your sect sucks.
Yeah, well, no, it says the same thing in each.
Isn't it possible somebody got it wrong?
Well, hold on now. Hold on. I don't know what this guy is trying to advocate. And now what from my understanding and the way that I was taught in the Bible, it's he says just saying in Christian tradition it's supposed to, in order to be married in Christian tradition you're only supposed to have sex naturally, and which usually ends up in procreation.
Just so you know, gayness happens naturally.
Well, no, I'm saying sex.
Surprise. And guess what? Animals who aren't humans also can exhibit the behavior of homosexuality.
So what's your definition of sex? Are you talking about getting pleasure, getting an I'm talking about reproduction, because that's the whole purpose of sex from the Bible. It's not for pleasure, it's to procreate. That's what it's called, procreation.
Well, some animals have sex for pleasure, just so you know. And the reason why it's pleasurable is because it's for procreation, right? Like
it's pleasurable because the way the parts are arranged, it releases dopamine when you have an orgasm.
Yeah, so isn't the argument then that it was made pleasurable so humans would seek it, so therefore they would
reproduce? Could you have a baby by having anal sex, Ian? Could you procreate through anal sex?
I'm not saying you could. Why would anyone say something like that?
I'm saying that's the only kind of sex you're allowed to have.
That doesn't mean that it's unnatural. That doesn't mean that being gay is unnatural.
No, I'm not trying to say it's unnatural. I'm not saying it's. I'm not. I hope.
What are you saying, Scott? Are you saying it's unnatural?
Well, what I'm saying is that you could go on YouTube, just look it up on YouTube and watch the Sodom and Gomorrah, and people can learn a lot from that. But I just wanted to say I don't hate those people. but I just don't want to see
You just
those
think
people.
they're burning in hell. You just think they're going to go to hell.
Well, Ian, you're putting words in his mouth.
I'm
You let the man
asking
speak.
No. Just wait a minute. No. If you go into the book of Revelation, it says that they're thrown in the lake of fire or brimstone. So I'll leave
That
it
sounds
at
like
that,
burning
and
in
I
hell to
appreciate you
me.
taking my thought.
I wish we had more time to talk about it. He just hung up. I wish we could have continued the conversation because it sounds like you're getting kind of fired up on this one, Vincent.
Well, because it looks like you're toying around with a guy. I know you have something against Christianity or
I
whatever.
don't
You
have
always like
anything
messing
against
around.
Christianity, man.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime a
There's
Christian
some
caller
Christian-
calls up,
No, there's some Christians
you
who
always mess
accept
around
gays.
with him.
There's some Christians who accept
Yeah,
gays.
and this guy said he wasn't.
He
well, I don't know
called
what he
and
was
said
trying
it was
to
an
imply.
abomination. Okay,
He didn't say, I
He
didn't.
said
I didn't hear that, but
I don't know if he used
this
that
guy's
exact
just
term.
putting his. No, I think you're
He
putting
can
words
say
in the
he
guy's
doesn't
mouth.
hate them, but at the same time calling that an abomination, I don't know. That seems like a mixed message to me.
Well,
We're back tomorrow night. You can join us online at freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, March 20th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,311 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,551. Antiwar.com reports U.S. military involvement in the Saudi invasion of Yemen was never authorized by Congress. 3 years into the conflict, this might actually matter, with the Senate set to vote on S.J. Res. 54, a War Powers Act challenge, which would require the U.S. to end involvement in the war. The resolution is enjoying growing support across the Senate, with high-ranking officials like Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia coming out in favor. Sources say a vote on the resolution is scheduled for Tuesday. During the war, U.S. involvement has mostly centered around supporting Saudi bombing of Yemen, including targeting assistance and mid-air refueling of warplanes. U.S. warships have also participated in the Saudi naval blockade, which has resulted in mass starvation in parts of the country. Getting a vote is no small feat, despite the War Powers Act obliging floor votes on such challenges. An effort in the House last year was foiled, replaced with a non-binding alternative. This will be the first ever War Powers Act challenge in the Senate. The Trump administration has been scrambling to shore up support, arguing that the war isn't authorized, but not being at a war would be bad for U.S.-Saudi relations. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is in the U.S. to do some last-minute lobbying as well, meeting individually with senators. Though Salman and the administration appear to believe this will sway the vote in their favor, it may actually do the opposite. That's because Saudi war crimes in Yemen are increasingly concerning in Congress, and the prince's defense of the war is not very convincing. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday not to block Pennsylvania's new congressional district voting maps, which Republicans challenged as unconstitutional. The state Supreme Court redrew the map in February after it determined the previous map plainly and palpably violated the state constitution. Republican leaders said the court did not give state lawmakers enough time to redraw the map after the February ruling. Monday's ruling followed another unsuccessful challenge in a federal district court earlier in the day, in which a three-judge panel said the GOP leaders who brought the case did not have standing to represent the whole General Assembly. The Pennsylvania Democrats who challenged the 2011 voting map accused Republicans of gerrymandering, diluting the votes of Democrats and racial minorities. The League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania told USA Today it was deja vu all over again, with arguments that have not improved with age. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision came a day before a filing deadline for the May primaries. The new map will also be used in the general election, in which Pennsylvania is considered a battleground state. Pennsylvania is not the only state facing a battle over its congressional map. The U.S. Supreme Court delayed its ruling on a similar North Carolina case to give it time to consider other cases in Wisconsin and Maryland.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports police said on Monday an Uber self-driving car hit and killed a woman crossing the street in Arizona, marking the first fatality involving an autonomous vehicle and a potential blow to the technology expected to transform transportation. The ride-sharing company said it was suspending North American testing of its self-driving vehicles, which are currently going on in Arizona, Pittsburgh, and Toronto. Police said Elaine Herzberg was walking her bicycle outside of the crosswalk on a 4-lane road in the Phoenix suburb of Tempe about 10 p.m. Sunday evening when she was struck by the Uber vehicle traveling at about 40 miles per hour. The car was in autonomous mode with an operator behind the wheel. Tempe Police Sergeant Ronald Elcock told reporters at a news conference the pedestrian was outside of the crosswalk. As soon as she walked into the lane of traffic, she was struck. Elcock said he did not know how close Herzberg was to the vehicle when she stepped into the lane. Herzberg later died from her injuries in a hospital. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
This is William Chambers. Now a retired insurance salesman, Chambers is just one of over 95% of grandfathers who, according to a new report from the Center of Business Intelligence, secured their first and only job by walking right up to the owner of a business and asking for a position right then and there.
I slammed my fist on the desk and said, "I'm your man." He stood right up. He shook my hand and he said, "You come in first thing Monday morning."
According to the report, nearly 36% of grandfathers claimed that they found employment by entering a local business with nothing but a nickel in their pockets and a shirt on their backs. 24% saw a fine-looking marquee for a business and said, "Someday my name's going to be on that sign." And 40% of grandfathers said they snuck into the CEO's office and said, "Mr. McKinley, sir, I'm your guy."
It just took gumption. You didn't need some fancy internship. Looking the boss dead in the eye and showing him you were a man. That was your internship.
This is the